are live with the pre-show. Hello, hello. Let me make sure things are working. They are. Great. Amazing.
I suppose that means I actually have to think of a recommendation for something.
Maybe. Yeah, that might be what it means. You can do whatever you want in this world, you know? Welcome.
Can you?
I
Try host
mean,
book club.
Hello.
you could try to
Hello.
do it. Oh, you want to host the book club? I'll give it to you. You want to host it yourself? You got this. I believe in you.
No, I'm gonna host a competing book club at the same time.
Oh, okay. All right. Sweet.
With all the same members also?
I'm just gonna stream your Discord call and talk over you.
Oh, okay.
It'll be a live reaction. It'll be great. YouTube
Oh, all
loves
right.
that.
Yeah, sweet. Okay. Also, Iron, we are currently live. We're in the pre-show segment. Welcome.
Very good. Hello, hello.
Okay,
Hello.
let me do the ping. People,
Long time listener, first time caller.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, we ping it, and then we post it. Sweet. And let me just wait for people to show up and wait for ads to end.
Oh, sorry, should I go?
Do you want to leave?
I don't know.
All right, well, you know, take some time, figure out.
I don't think so, but like, I don't know for sure, you know?
Oh, okay, all right. Listen, you are the one who suggested we read this, so I think legally speaking, you're not allowed to leave. I think that's how that works. I'm not a lawyer
Oh.
though.
Is it?
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer though, but I think legally speaking, you know. Welcome, Ari.
It just plays whenever I walk into a room.
You can set Discord to do that. You can do that. You can set that up.
Yeah, I know. Some of the people, yeah. I've heard some crazy ones. People have all sorts of weird sounds when they come into a voice call.
Anyone who does that, who does the sound as soon as I walk in a voice call, it's always the weirdest and stupidest sounds, the most annoying things ever. Like the crashing sounds and stuff. It's always the most annoying
Some of
things
them
in
are
the
kind of crazy,
world.
yeah.
And then they want to act all embarrassed when it plays. It's like, you did this. You're the one who set that up. Like, you made that choice. You don't get to act embarrassed.
Burn this. And how does one set this up?
I don't know if I want to tell you because I know you're gonna immediately.
I just thought of the most annoying sound on my soundboard, and like, come on.
All right, let me make sure. Yes, and then my notes. I took some notes to discuss about author background stuff, like I tend to do when we start. Got those. I did read both these volumes. I think I mentioned this in places before. I read both these volumes like last Thursday, and the whole week I've been like, okay, but when do I get to read more? I wanna read more. So I had to hold back.
All right.
In exactly 2 hours.
In exactly 2 hours, I get to continue. All right, 2 hours, and then I get to suffer for a week waiting again. All right.
I already posted all 8 lines of notes I took, so.
We do know Shino, unfortunately, will not be here for this week, but Shino will be there for the future. Andy will also...
For the start of high quality Yuri.
I know,
Man.
I know. I was surprised too, but it's unfortunate.
Girls
but,
Next Door
you
was
know,
also Yuri.
That's true.
True.
That's true.
But
No,
I
that
mean,
was just
Bloom into
you.
you. Come on, it's like
No,
like Yuri.
For sure,
like,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's like the Yuri.
Yeah. So
It
Shino's
is
not gonna
the
be.
Yuri.
Shino's not gonna be here this week. Andy will be here, but Andy will be late coming from work. But Andy has read the series. Andy was live reacting to it in my stream last night. Okay, Andy was losing their minds over this. Okay, so Andy's got thoughts. Shadow, I believe, will not be joining us for this book club. He's given himself a little rest, well deserved. I think he's been there for like every single book club we've ever had so far. So, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know if Emily is going to be in Bloom Into You. It's not impossible for her to show up, though. She might show up.
You didn't see her?
Emily's in my heart. Emily's in my heart always.
She'll be in the play, I believe.
Did you
Okay.
even read?
True.
Excuse me.
Not you. The people saying that Emily wasn't in the.
Yeah, obviously Emily was there. Obviously. I did remember to delete all of the Pandora Hearts images, including the image of Break as a member of the book club cast. Okay, he's no longer there anymore. Break is not a part of the book club
What?
cast anymore. No,
Without
he's
love,
not there.
He cannot be seen.
Oh, man.
Good.
Andy-
This book club just keeps going further and further downhill.
Andy just typed in chat driving home right now. I believe in you, Andy. We're all waiting. We're excited to hear your thoughts. Okay, I'm probably going to want to turn on my AC ahead of time, so let me go do that.
I think Sharon would have been a big fan of this series.
Yeah. Hime Joshi,
All
Sharon.
right, I'm back. Ooh. Soul, I'm going to continue to be
Thank
Peanut
you.
Gallery. Okay, thank you, Soul.
I think Vincent would have really liked this too.
Well, we know Emily liked it.
I should
Well,
try
she
to
was
make
in
it.
it, so I don't know that that counts.
I have it so that Twitch
Hey,
chat
I know plenty
shows...
of actors who hate the things they're in.
You know what? You got me there.
I have it so that it shows Twitch chat on stream, but I really should probably make it so it also shows Discord book club messages on stream. That way I don't have to copy and paste, extract, zoom in images every single time too.
I don't know. I've seen our Discord. Maybe you should.
Damn. That's when you guys move all your takes to spoiler zone, which won't be on stream. Okay. Okay, I think the only person we're missing at this point is Andy, who is currently driving home. So I believe we should be good to go. Do we know of anybody else that's coming? I think this is probably it as far as I am aware.
I think that's everyone for this week.
Alright, well if anybody does show up, you're more than welcome to join in late. So, let us get this going then. Let me take off pre-show and we'll begin. Okay, here. Welcome everybody to another exciting week of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. You can find links to all of these things at wolfborg.com. We are here to start our discussion of Bloom Into You, 8-volume Yuri manga. But before we get into that, we're going to introduce our guests for this week, starting in alphabetical order on Discord as usual. We'll start with Andromeda. Introduce yourself.
Oh no, that's me.
That's
Hi.
you.
I'm Marianne, or Anne, whichever you prefer. My recommendation this week is gonna be... I should have thought of something before, but I didn't.
It always happens to me too.
Oh, there was an album of piano arrangements for the Katawa Shoujo soundtrack that I've been listening to, and it's really good.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those
I-
are really good.
There's it's by 88-bit on YouTube and Bandcamp. They're really good. And oh right, my anti-recommendation for this week is Iron. Because I am a woman of my word.
Damn. God damn, this is rough.
No,
All
no.
right.
So there's context here. So
Okay.
everybody was explaining to me how the recommendations and anti-recommendations work, and I said, if you need a recommendation for an anti, I think Yu's sister would be a pretty good candidate. She seems like a sweet, like she'd be a good aunt. So I'm going to recommend her for anti. And that earned the anti-recommendation of me from Anne.
Yeah, she made a good pun, so I had to execute her for it.
That's true.
Delightful.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
that's
this is
how,
fair.
that's how it works. That's how it works, yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for that, Anne. Next up, Arimia. Introduce yourself. Arimia Alice, still.
Oh, damn. How do I change? I gotta change.
hold on. How do I get to the bottom of the list?
Come on, Ari, I believe in you.
There we go.
Yuri. just Yuri.
The real joke here, though, is the Discord exclusive, where I also have the Yuri tag.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
'Cause I
Ari
have
and
the
Anne
Love
have the
River
Yuri tag.
So it's Rumi, Yuri.
Base.
Hi, I'm Arimia. I like Yuri. I like shonen shit. Yeah. I don't really have anything to recommend. I mean, I guess I read I did finish a book the other day called The Lost Manuscript, which is a which is an English translation of a French book of a novel that was written as letters between a group of people, where this woman finds a manuscript in a hotel room that she's staying in, and it just so happens to have the address of the original writer, which I'm realizing now is kind of funny. That basically she writes to the guy whose address is there, and he's like, holy shit, I lost that manuscript like 30 years ago. Thank you for sending it to me, whoever the hell you are. And this lady's like, you're welcome. I'm going to go become a detective now and figure out what happened to this manuscript. And he's like, oh dear lord. But it's a series of letters between this woman and the writer, and also all of the people along the way who had this manuscript, because this manuscript got passed around for years and years because it was so impactful on the people who read it, so that they just had to share it with somebody else. And I'm just kind of like, that's kind of cringe. Like, I mean, a story that's so good that you force your friends to read it, and that changes your life and your outlook. Obviously, I have to give it a anyway. But it was good. I have a soft spot in my heart for novels that the formatting is specifically letters. One of the first novels not one of the first novels, but one of the novels that really stuck with me that I read in high school was a letter formatted novel. So it's an interesting style. And the book was good. It was a pretty brief read. I think a little under 300 pages, but because of the formatting, it was a quick-ish read. Yeah. The French have good exports sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, things are allowed to be good after they get out of France.
Oh, I see.
It was the translation that really
I'll,
made it.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know that I can sign off on this pro-French propaganda.
Damn.
Listen, I didn't say it was British now.
Oh. All right.
The French are getting fried this evening.
Thank you so much for that, Ari. Anything else?
Read Yuri.
Read Yuri, please. Read
Always.
Yuri. Next up, Aztec. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aztec. I enjoy bad media. I didn't enjoy any of the things I tried in the last 2 weeks, so instead I'm gonna recommend something old. Watch Sweetness and Lightning. It's about a dad bonding with his young daughter through cooking.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Didn't you watch that, Iron?
Yeah, it's been a while, but it was very cute.
Ooh, nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for that, Aztec. Next up, me, Chaplin, aka Wolfborg, aka the best anime book club host you've ever heard of, as long as you've only heard of this one, probably, maybe, I don't know. I would recommend, okay, I've started my journey through reading Fate. It feels obvious to recommend Fate, but I will specifically say if you have not tried the Fate visual novel yet, at least check out the prologue, okay? It will get you hype as fuck and ready for the entire journey, okay? I just finished the prologue today, and it truly is probably one of the coolest starts to anything I've ever encountered in media, and I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. It really is just that powerful of a visual novel start. So, there you go. There you go. All right, go check out Fate. All right, again, it feels like a very obvious recommendation. It feels like I'm cheating almost, but it's what I read recently, okay? So, go check it out. All right, next up, Iron. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, howdy. Like I said in the pre-show, long-time listener, first-time caller, so to speak. Couple really good friends here in book club, so enjoyed listening in and figured since this is one of my favorite Yuri series, I would pop in and join this time. So I have read or I have watched the anime. I have not read the first part of the manga. I picked up the manga from where the anime leaves off. So I have not read the manga in its entirety yet. So yeah, howdy. My recommendation. I'm also going to pull from the archives a little bit, but I'm going to recommend Shirobako. It's a gosh, it's a love letter to the anime industry, but also a character drama about 5 girls who graduate high school and are determined to enter the anime industry. And it's about them finding their way and working together and working separately and just figuring stuff out. So it's a really lovely and fun show, especially if you're a fan of just anime and you're interested in how it's produced.
Yeah, it's very, very good from what I experienced of it as well. I think I watched the main anime and then there was one movie, right? I don't think there was anything else. I don't remember though.
Yeah, it's the 2 anime
Yes.
single season and then the movie. Yep, that's it.
Very, very good. I would also recommend it. All right. Anything else, Iron?
No, I don't think so. Happy to
All
be
right.
here.
Thank you so much. Next up, Baguetti. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Baguetti. I am returning for my second season of Anime Book Club. Yippee!
Yippee!
I don't really have anything new to say, but I do have a recommendation. It was kind of funny. I did mention this a couple of weeks ago. It was Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, because they're releasing a remake of the very first game that came out in 2004. And I was under the assumption that it was going to come out next year. Joke's on me, it's coming out in 20 days. So I'm trying through the first 2 games as quickly as possible so that I can play the remake. But the demo is actually up on Steam. It's really good. If you like JRPGs, if you like, that kind of style of game with a really good story and fully voice acted, like, you look at some of the names on the voice acting list, you'll be impressed. It's it was really good. I actually had to like pry it out of my little hands because I would have finished the demo, but I don't want to like spoil it for myself. So, yeah, that's my recommendation this week, and that's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Baguetti. And welcome, Andy, aka Chained Bacon. Welcome. You're still
Yay.
you came in at the perfect time. We just got to the end of the last person for introductions. So now you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andy. I go by Nio Bacon online. I use he, they pronouns, pretty please, and my recommendation is Familiar of Zero, and my anti-recommendation is also Familiar of Zero. Do with that what you will.
You're so real for this.
Based. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for showing up to begin our discussion about Bloomin' to You. So, to start this off, I'll begin with talking a little. Well, before I actually get into the author background, I guess we can ask around of the people here at Book Club, who here has had prior experience with Bloomin' to You, either the manga or anime or the author themselves, and what experience that they had specifically that they wanted to share. Anybody? I believe Iron already mentioned a little bit, right? But
I watched the first
Yeah, I don't have much else
episode
to
of the
say
anime.
for my part, but
okay. What'd you say, Astic? You've seen a bit of the anime?
I've seen one episode of the anime.
And I think I was probably there when you did watch that first, because I think I watched the first episode with Justin ages ago, but I wasn't fully paying attention.
I've heard of Yuri before this.
Oh, you have? Oh,
Oh,
that's interesting.
I'm impressed.
What did you think of
the-
Yuri
the
before
woman
this?
Who works at the studio that makes
Yeah,
Yuri?
Yuri
has heard
Shonen?
of Yuri.
It was I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
Trying to remember what somebody said to me at a convention one time when whenever I get to the Yuri pitch. I think they said something like, "Oh, well, I'm sure some people are into that."
Oh, I remember when that happened. Yeah,
Oh my
Just
god.
a few.
I wasn't there, but yeah.
This person, no, I'm not gonna. They had merch from a visual novel where you date women in it.
Interesting.
Not Yuri though. They immediately left though after that, so they were not.
Based.
Anyway, Yuri's pretty good.
Sweet. All right. Anybody else?
What was the question?
Has anybody else had prior experience with Bloomin' to You in any way, shape, or form, or the author? I know Anne was the one who recommended us to read this. So, Anne, did you want to share anything about this?
Oh yeah, no, this is I think there are two like romance stories that I would point to as being my personal favorite, and this is absolutely one of them. I've seen the anime probably like 4 or 5 times through. Haven't read the manga as much. I think only just twice. I listened to the soundtrack like near constantly, but with I pretty regularly come back to it. It's a gorgeous soundtrack as well. It's just a story that I really love.
Well, that's great. Anybody else? Okay. And like I said, Shino's not here this week. I don't know if Shino has also had prior Bloomin' to You experience, but we'll hear all about Shino's thoughts in the future, hopefully. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. I'll begin with some of the notes I took about some of the general background of the series. So, Bloomin' to You is by Nio Nakatani, who started out, as far as I could tell from the AniList page, as a manga assistant for Akuma no Riddle, and then later on, they won a one-shot contest for a series that they wrote called Sayonara Alter, which starred 2 identical twins who one of them I guess died, and it's a question of which one did, and also I guess it's a Yuri. It was hard for me to find more info about it without trying to actively seek out the work and reading it myself. But it seemed very interesting, and it won a contest in 2014. And from there is when they essentially started being able to publish more works. They started Bloom Into You, and they also have been a frequent contributor in a girls' love anthology series called Eclair. And most of their catalog has been primarily Yuri works, although I believe their current title, God Bless the Mistaken, is not Yuri, actually. It's a slice-of-life sci-fi comedy, but I think like the bulk of everything else has been Yuri. And apparently...
Her two most recent works, God Bless the Mistaken, and then there's one that's upcoming, because God Bless the Mistaken is wrapping soon, or has wrapped.
Yeah, I think it did finish, yep.
And I think the thing that she's working on next also is not Yuri, doesn't seem to be Yuri. I could be wrong, but...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And apparently they've also made Toho Dojinshi, which was a whole section talking about that on like some profiles about her online, which is very interesting. It sounded like they were trying to say like she was writing Toho Dojinshi not intending for them to be seen as Yuri works, but a lot of Yuri fans saw them as that, so she started leading into it more. And she found that she really, really enjoyed writing those kind of stories, is how it seemed like the background went.
For some unknown reason, a lot of Toho fans were also Yuri fans.
Oh my god, can you believe it?
The world will never figure it out.
I had a section that I wanted to read that describes some things that she said in interviews about her thoughts on Yuri as a genre. And it goes... In discussing her approach to the Yuri genre, Nakatani expressed that while she liked romance stories, she was disappointed with narratives that paint a relationship as necessary to complete oneself emotionally, as it made her feel as if something was wrong with me. Nakatani felt that same-sex romances often avoided this dichotomy, and that as she struggled to write a convincing heterosexual romance, she was more drawn towards creating manga about same-sex couples. While Nakatani had also drawn boys' love manga previously, she ultimately said that Yuri was more interesting to her as she wanted to draw cute girls. In one interview, she said that Yuri was difficult to define, but that, quote, once the reader thinks it is Yuri, then at that moment, it becomes Yuri, unquote. So, that's I just wanted to read that out. I thought that was an interesting set of information to get from interviews of her.
Yeah, that's cool, and I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense based on the series too. Like that feels very like appropriate and accurate.
Yeah. So the Bloom Into You was 8 volumes long. It began serializing in April of 2015 and then wrapped up in September of 2019. It is currently licensed by Seven Seas Entertainment, and all 8 volumes are translated and out there. And it also had an anime adaptation in fall of 2018 by Studio Troika, who had also made Aldnoah Zero, Idolish 7, and Recreators, those anime adaptations. And I think Lord Elmaloy anime adaptation thing? I forget what they were credited for that. So yeah, that's the general background of the stuff that we got going on here for Bloom Into You. So now let's get right into volumes 1 and 2 of what we read this week, which should be the first 10 chapters. So we have, I have notes here about some of the characters' names because I didn't want to get them wrong here. So our main protagonist of the story is primarily told through is Yu Koito, who she like one of the first frames we're introduced to her is her saying that she's a huge, really into shoujo manga and like romance stories. You know, she's really interested in the feeling that they evoke, but she has had trouble actually feeling the same feelings in real life. Which is the start of this is essentially her getting.
Me too, bestie.
There you go. The start of this is essentially her. The aftermath of her being confessed to by a guy in middle school, and then she goes off to her first year of high school having not actually answered him yet, and she's struggling. She basically knows she's going to turn him down, but she doesn't know the proper way to turn him down. Because she's just like, he confessed to me, but I didn't feel anything when he did. So, so she eventually sees our other main character here, Toko Nanami, who is a member of the student council, as she is being confessed to by somebody, and she is rejecting them, saying, what did she say? She said, "I don't intend to go out with anyone, no matter who asks." Very formal rejection of it, and it inspires Koito to try to ask her for advice eventually about how to handle her confession the way that she did, or like to at least talk through her feelings on the matter. And it's through their discussions and understandings of how they feel when it comes to romance that Nanami very quickly realizes that she has fallen in love with Koito, and then immediately confesses to her, and then soon after has already kissed her. So there's a lot.
Question mark.
There's a lot. There's a lot all of a sudden with some of this. But over time with this story, it's very, very interesting how it handles a lot of what it's doing. So that's the general gist of the inciting stuff of the plot we have going. It is a story between these two girls who are, Yu's not technically, I guess she is now, I think. She was flip-flopping around whether or not she actually wanted to be a part of the council. She joined at first as like a trial thing because she wasn't exactly sure what club she wanted to be a part of, I guess. And then Nanami kind of like pressured her into not only being a part of the council, but helping her run for student council president as her campaign manager immediately, which seemingly pissed off another character who thought that she was going to be running with Nanami, Sayaka Saiki, who I think was eventually made the vice president of the club, but she was like a closer long-term friend of Nanami. And then Koito comes in, and Nanami immediately asks her to be a campaign manager, and the camera just zooms over to Saiki being like, the fuck? She's been here for like 5 minutes? She's been here for like 5 minutes? What the hell is going on?
Hers was so good.
Yeah. Feels like there should be a shot of her like snapping a pencil in half or something.
It really does. It really does. I remember before we actually started the readings, I think Turndo in the book club chat was posting a list for some reason. Like he had noticed that every series we've read has had like some kind of character death in one way or another. And he was saying, oh, this might be the first series where we break that cycle. And I was reading this thinking, there might still be a chance for someone to die. And I think I know who would fucking do it too. I think I know who would do it.
That's some of what I was saying in Chap's stream chat last night. I got maybe to like chapter 2 or 3, and I was like, Chap, they're gonna fucking die. I know it.
Well, so you it sounded like you were saying someone was gonna die, as in like, it's gonna be like a tragic death that affects somebody. I was reading this thinking Psyche's gonna fucking kill Koito. She just keeps getting closer and closer to her so fast. And Saeki's just like feeling seems really, really affected by it. So, yeah. We have that character, and then the other standout one for me was Maki, the boy who joins
Maki is so good.
the student council.
Maki's
and
the voyeur, yeah.
Yes, the voyeur, who he catches a moment where Nanami and Koito are alone in the club room. And Nanami asks to kiss Koito, and they do. And Maki was going back for like his pencil bag or something, and sees that, and you think, oh no, what's gonna happen with that? And he talks with Koito eventually, and the talk is just, oh, I'm not gonna say anything to anybody. And then we as the reader get the backstory that like this guy loves to hear about all these romance stories and just be told all the hot new gossip about all of it and just watch it. He doesn't actually want to be involved with it at all. I think there was even like a little like stage play symbolic representation where like the person on stage tried to confess to him, and he's just like, no, I'm leaving the theater. I was like, god damn, all right, that's one way to show that side of the character.
Why is the lead actress falling in love with the audience? That's not right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It's
I'm
so
leaving the
funny.
theater. I was at first when he showed up, he showed up in the club room. I think as we were just getting over Koito having rejected the person over the phone, and for a moment I had worried that the person joining the club was going to be that guy, but it was not. I thought that would have been wild if that character
that's
was.
what it was.
I also thought that's what it was.
I thought it was that, and there was another moment, one of her other friends who specifically joined this high school because the boy she was crushing on was also going to this high school. Okay, she has her own little arc going on that we don't necessarily see on screen right now. The guy she likes is, I guess, on the basketball team, and she got rejected by him off screen where she tried to confess to him, and he said, "I just want to focus on basketball right now." I had worried that he was going to be involved in the class club in some way too, but then I remembered he's on the basketball team, so I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Or just want to be balling.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Bro
true.
just wanted to keep his head in the game.
That's true. That's true. It's true.
He literally acts like Troy Bolton's dad. All he thinks about is basketball. All he's narrowed in on. I was watching Danny Gonzalez. Sorry, there's a punchline to this, I promise.
Okay.
Danny Gonzalez did a complete, like, I think it was at least 45-minute review of all 3 High School Musical movies back to back to back. And Troy Bolton's dad, at one point, there's a scene where he's working on a car, and Danny is like, "Oh, thank God, Troy Bolton's dad, he has something other than basketballs going on in his head." And then the camera pans over, and there's a basketball holding the hood of the car open.
Oh my God.
That man thinks about nothing but basketball. Anyway, that's the guy that
High School
girl's
Musical is
going at.
peak is the thing.
True. Speaking of plays, right? Apparently,
Speaking of musicals,
the council is going to be doing their own. That was a plot point in the second volume, right? Where they're setting up to do it, and apparently it is integral to the backstory of Nanami, because I guess this was a tradition that the student council used to do at this school a while ago, like 7 years ago, but something happened and they stopped, and then it turns out that something that happened was Nanami's older sister, who was a part of the council at the time, had tragically died fucking died. So we did not avoid a death in a series, I guess. Died from
Sayaka got her.
True. Listen. I believe they died from like we were just told like some traffic accident.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a car accident.
Just traffic accident.
Yeah.
As far as
So
Yeah, she got isekai'd.
they needed her. So
She got excited to her own
That's
Yuri
true.
story.
That's true.
yeah. So she died from that years ago.
It was actually by Taylor.
And how this had affected Nanami is that she had before this, she felt like she was almost hiding in the shadow of her sister, I believe is how it was worded. She was trying not to stand out too much, and then after that incident happened, she essentially started to become her sister in order to be viewed as her sister in a way by everybody else or something. She puts on a big front like that in a way, which Koito can see past, because Nanami has instantly confessed to her and is like having all of these like secret mask off talks with her and all that. So Koito can really see this real side of her, the side that like she presents herself like a super serious, like I don't know about super serious, but like super like diligent, responsible, like is not worried about anything, kind of vibe, can get anything done. And
You could say an older sister type.
Yes. But she's nervous as shit about all of this. She's like scared about some of this. She's like nervous about some aspect, and like she can only really show that side of her to Koito when they're alone together. It's a very cute scene before they do the student council election speeches, where they
That was
they
so cute.
yeah, it was very cute. They have like a little word to themselves to the side where Koito's like, I wanted to talk to you because I thought you were going to be all, nervous as hell about this, but if it looks like you're fine. And then she's like grabbing her hand and she's like shaking really bad. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm nervous as shit. I must be really bad at hiding it from you. And, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I'm doing my best here. There's a moment I think where she's like putting her head on Koito's shoulder and all that. It's very, very cute. It's very nice. I think she says like, "Oh, you're being nice to me today."
It's like, you're so pathetic. How can I not?
that's literally her thoughts as she's doing the speech, even though she's weak, and nervous and all this. I'm like, damn.
I'll be honest. It took me a moment to realize those were inner monologue and not just her ad-libbing the speech.
Quite the speech. Quite the speech.
Just roasting her.
Oh my god. Yeah, because I mean, Koito was nervous as
that
hell.
would get me to vote for someone, though.
Hey, listen. So the reasoning Nanami says to Saiki, because Saiki's like, "Hey, why the hell did you make her the campaign manager? You've known her for like 5 minutes," and she tried to. She wasn't seeming like she was scrambling for it. It felt to me like it was a scramble for an explanation for it. She was like, she's a first year, so having a first year on the election team will get, the first year's interested, they'll have a representative here, that's why I did it. But in my head, I'm just thinking like, I understand the logic of it makes sense, but I think Saiki also picked up, it feels like an excuse after the fact, of her immediately crushing on someone,
She says
so
much.
yeah. So because Nanami has the conversation with Koito about the crush that she wanted to confess to, and they kind of connect on their understanding of they both have never really felt that strong, like, heart-pounding connection with someone romantically like they always talk about in manga and such, which is one of the primary reasons why Koito is rejecting the person. But Nanami, upon finding another person who feels the same way like she does, it kind of undoes that for her, specifically for Koito, because she's immediately like, I feel it now, okay, I think I love you, and then they have a moment later on where they're walking on train tracks, they're talking, and she's like, hey, so what did you mean by I love you? And she stops and like kisses her, and she's like, I mean it like that. I'm like, oh okay, oh, that's what she meant, huh.
God. Okay, I'm sorry. That moment in the anime.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I swear to God, I thought one of them was gonna get hit by a train.
Oh my god.
I was reading this.
Oh my god.
was
You
reading
can't
this,
build
I
up
thought
to that
that.
scene. No, because they keep like building like all of the tension in that scene.
Yeah, you can't just
Like,
stop
they're-
so suddenly. I'm
they
like,
keep
they're on the
cutting
tracks, they're on the
back
tracks,
and
they're on the
forth.
tracks.
Yeah.
No, straight up though.
I was like, oh no, oh fuck.
Y'all have
wish
read
you
too
kinda
much
pushed her.
shonen and too
I
much
wish you
Shonen
kinda
murder
pushed
and
her.
stuff.
I was like,
What
this
is
is gonna
more
go
of a
dark.
horror
This is
Oh
thing?
gonna
my
go
god.
dark.
But
This is
get
gonna
you.
go dark.
No, that'd be a Psyche move, okay? That'd be a Psyche move.
That's a different
did find-
psyche.
Oh,
I
sure.
did find it funny shortly after she said, oh, I think I'm falling in love with you. And then Yu's like, I wonder if I'm reading too much into that.
What's she mean by this?
I mean,
Huh.
it wouldn't be eerie if there wasn't some level of completely ridiculous obliviousness.
Yeah. Which there's a scene later on.
I mean, I don't know that it's that ridiculous.
There's a
Meta
scene.
lesbian.
There's a scene later
fair.
on. It is very interesting how they're trying to approach their understanding, because there's a scene later on, kind of contrasting that scene where, Koito now knows the background about her sister and tries to talk to her about that and about like how she's acting, and there's a moment in that scene where she's just goes, I don't have feelings for you, and I don't think I ever will. And Nanami just turns around like, yeah, really? Keep going. I was like, what? This feels like the opposite reaction, but like, I guess for her, it is what made her feel that relation to her from the beginning, because she flat out said with her, like, I think I love you a lot, and I don't expect you to go out with me. I'm not really going to ask you to, and I don't really know if I care if you actually feel the same way back. I'm just fine with our relationship being as it is and letting me just love you one-sidedly, in a way, was how Nanami kind of worded it in like a cafe scene that they had. And then the scene later on where it felt like a anti-confession almost, and she's just like, oh, okay, fine, yes, please. It felt like they got like closer.
That scene, and
Yeah.
we can break this down more later, but that scene is so good because there's so many layers of like lying to each other, lying to themselves, being brutally honest with themselves.
Yeah.
And there's just so many layers.
Yeah, because it really is so interesting, the two different ways these characters are dealing with that same mindset towards the beginning. But towards the beginning, both of them haven't really felt that romantic connection at all that they've always heard about in media and such. And then Nanami instantly feels it when she meets Koito, but Koito doesn't feel the same immediately. But as, you know, time goes on and she's having the discussion with some of her other friends who also explain that, you know, sometimes, you know, romantic feeling is something that it grows on people over time and all that, you know, that could be the way that she's adapting to it as well and such. So it's like, okay, we have one person who's instant crush once she finally finds the right connection, and another person who's working through her feelings about how she feels with this. She seems to want to feel that romantic connection, but just hasn't been able to find the right way to feel that connection. She kind of expects that it's supposed to be an instant thing. But you know, it's not necessarily the case that it always has to feel like an instant. She described it, I think, Koito described it in her mind as a feeling of floating. When you actually get that feeling, like as if like you feel so in love with somebody that it feels like all the weight is off of you and you're able to like float, and it feels really nice. Was how she described it in one scene. And when she got confessed to by that other guy before, she's like, my feet are planted firmly on the ground still. I do not feel that feeling that I get when I read those. So it's very interesting. Not only that, you know, we're exploring these feelings, but also I think it's interesting that we're comparing our expectations of these feelings through like things like other media, and then contrasting it with like how it actually works in reality, and how it affects different people in different ways and such. With that, I think that all that is very interesting, and I think it's very interesting the way Nakatani explores these kind of things with Bloom Into You. I think it's very powerful. Yeah. I think it's very, very good with how it does that. So yeah, there's a lot that goes on with things on the emotional level. A lot of things, as Iron pointed out, where things are happening far deeper than what you're actually seeing on the screen at times. It's very thought and emotionally provoking in many ways. There's so much. There's so much. Even when it's just two girls just hanging out in like an empty classroom at times, there's so much going on. Okay, it feels so good.
So many mind games going on.
Yes,
For real?
yes. And Nanami doesn't make these mind games easy at all, okay? I think literally Koito is constantly saying she's playing unfair, okay? She's playing really, really unfair. There's a moment where... Okay, so Koito, we find out eventually, she has her family owns a bookstore in the area. And from this point on, we've seen several times where Nanami is going to this bookstore, even though it is like on the opposite side of where she lives. And she tries to play it off like, oh, you know, I just happen to be in the area. You know, I just happen to be here. I don't know what to say. Oh, it's funny seeing you here, Koito. It's funny seeing you here. Oh my god. It's very
funny
cute,
seeing you here at the bookstore that your family owns and you live above. How convenient.
And and Koito is just like, how did you even know I was gonna work here? What if
Such
I
a
wasn't working
coincidence.
here today? What if I was like? She's like, oh, I just had something I wanted to give you. I had a souvenir. It's like, what if I wasn't gonna be here today? I figured I was gonna see you tomorrow. Is that okay? Why would you give it to it's very cute. It's like, okay, well, we see what's going on. And then there's a misunderstanding
Anyways,
in.
if I could just pay you for this lesbian smut.
Yes. So what was it? It was she was buying the latest popular book that was coming out, and she and Nanami didn't realize at the time what the content of it was about. And Koito was just like, huh,
Yeah, it like
isn't this
starts out as average like het romance thing, and then it swerves into it does seem just to be lesbian smut. And then Toko shows up again the next day, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Koito's just looking at her as she's buying it like, I know what you are, okay? I know what you're doing. I know what this is. And Nanami is the next she's like, oh my god, I'm so fucking sorry. I had no idea, please. I didn't have any intentions with this, please. Oh
This is
god.
a test. She's testing me. She wants to see my
But it's
reaction.
actually
It's like a Death Note moment.
But
Koito spends,
cute
the
too,
whole
'cause-
time, Koito spends the whole time thinking she's playing mind games, and Nanami is just eating the chess pieces every
Yes,
time she looks away.
it really is.
Well, it's so funny
Uh.
too because Toko actually admits in that moment. Actually, I just wanted to buy something from you. It's not that I was trying to like mean anything by the book. So like when she sort of ends up in this situation where she's even more forward and bold than she intended to be, she actually admits to being bolder than she would normally admit to being, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yes, yep, absolutely. Oh my god. And this series is just filled with little moments like that. There's a moment where they're walking together and there's an indirect kiss with a bottle, and they don't say anything about it. You just see their
I was
character
gonna say,
expressions.
it's just glossed over.
It's just we
I
move
think
on from it.
But
I
Yeah.
had sent
I think
a
Andy sent
picture
that.
of that. Yeah, I sent a picture of it because the thing that I found really funny was that you thought nothing of it. Absolutely,
Yeah.
like
Yep,
no
yep.
acknowledgement of the situation. But Nanami was like
Yep.
losing her mind off to the side, and I was like, "This is peak."
Yep.
So I
I'm
kind
gonna
of appreciate
show
that
it.
they almost glossed over it
Yeah, I'm
because
gonna show it.
it made it seem so much more like I don't know, like it felt more impactful to me that way than if
Yeah.
they had like been like, "Oh, it's a direct kiss."
Yeah, it's a more
I'm so sorry.
it's a more grounded like real response to it than like the typical anime like, oh my god, that was a direct kiss. You can't do things like that. Like we don't need the whole like theatrics about that kind of thing. We just get the whole like, okay,
Yeah.
this is them quietly like processing what happened for in different ways of it. One of them just being like, okay, whatever, and the other one just being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. is very good, yeah. What else did we have here? Oh yeah, when she had found out that her family owned the bookstore, they were like walking home together, and then Nanami just wanted to go into the bookstore, having genuinely not known that was the family's bookstore, and then finds out that when the cashier's like, "Oh, welcome home, sweetie," and it's like the grandma or mom or whatever, and she's like, yeah, no, we own this bookstore. And then the mom comes out and is like, oh, hello, who are you? Oh, you're a friend of you. How's it going? And Nanami's like, oh my god, this feels really awkward in a way. And she's like, what do you mean? You're just meeting a Kohai's parents. It's like, it feels like a sorry I seduced your daughter kind of scenario. And it's like, what? Oh my god. And Koito's just like, but you didn't seduce me, okay? Let's just... And then later on, the family's like, Koito's family's talking with her, and the Koito's sister comes over and like, oh, how's it going? And the family's like, oh yeah, she brought over a friend today. Oh, a boyfriend? No, it was a girl. Oh, a girlfriend? It's like, no, not like that. And the dad's like, yeah, I would have had to put down my food if that were the case. It's like, oh boy, if you even knew, if only you knew. Oh man. Okay, so how are we feeling in general about both our main characters, our side characters, Who's standing out here?
I liked the scene between Yu's two friends, where one of them went, "I don't like cute things," and the other one was like, "Yeah, but I got you that cute stuffed animal," and the first one went, "Yeah, I like it because it's not cute," and she's like, "What do you mean it's not cute?" I know that was like a side.
It was like a throwaway side thing, but it was still good. Yeah.
Yomi are definitely a comedy routine.
Yeah. Oh my god. Was that the same girl who they were talking about, like the uniforms at some point? Because apparently there's lore.
She doesn't wear bows.
One of the bonus memes had talked about the way, I believe it was just explained, the school doesn't have different uniforms for the girls. It differentiates them by the color of their ribbon, I think, was like the main defining way that they do it.
Which is pretty typical for Japanese schools with uniforms. But...
Yeah, it was a nice little bonus info though, because it was just the author showing off like the designs of them in general, explaining some of that stuff. It was reminding me of the whole Pandora Hearts author just having fun with the characters, explaining like extra lore in some areas about the world through like the bonus meme comics and stuff. It was very, very nice how Nakatani was doing some of that, I thought. Yeah, Girls Last Tour did that too, where it was just like a bunch of bonus world lore, little detail dump that wasn't really a part of the story. It was very nice.
It was more of a joke than an information thing, but I did like the one at the end of the second volume with Sayaka and the president. Her just being like, "Yeah, you. How do you take your coffee? I don't."
Oh yeah.
She doesn't remember details about things she doesn't care about.
Nanami.
It was literally like, she remembered all of the girls' formulas, and the one guy's there. She's like, who are you?
Space.
She's so real for this.
This was Saiki, I think, right? Yeah, Saiki was giving out the tea to people.
Yes.
And then it was like, oh, you get yours black with sugar. This is for you, 2 creamers. And then like, what do you get, guy in the room? And then it goes to her and it says, oh, of course, Saiki drinks black, no sugar. Okay, that's like, okay, all right. That one also had another bonus meme was just the layout of the student council room. Is like, oh, here's where the kitchen is. Here, there's this, it's nice little details. You didn't need it, but it's very nice. Because there's lore behind the student council room, too. They were like, this used to be for the calligraphy club, but now it's been repurposed for the student council room, so we have a calligraphy room, technically. We just don't really, this was the calligraphy room, so it feels in a certain way because it used to be that kind of club. It's like, okay, again, this detail is not really relevant to the story, not really necessary, but it's there, and it's nice, and it shows that the author cared or had, like, some inspiration in some way that inspired that, which is nice. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a neat little detail to throw in. Character designs and such, I like how we've drawn Koito's face and the hairstyle specifically. I really like it. I mean, I like all the art in this for the characters, I think, but I think Koito's design specifically speaks to me, is very nice. How did other people feel about some of the designs that we had going on here? Anybody have any strong thoughts?
Yeah, Koito, whatever her name is. I liked hers. I just liked her the most in general. She was really fun. I just really loved the expressions she kept making throughout it.
Yep.
Where she's just constantly looking slightly disgruntled.
She's so exasperated all the time.
I just love.
Oh yes, I'll show that one. I'll show that one. God, I should make that one a sticker.
And then
that one's so good.
when she did this face, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I thought we were about to take a very weird turn for the story.
Oh,
with that
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I remember that panel too.
So good.
What was the context of this
Just
image
straight up
again?
Psycho face.
What was I
think
forget?
that
What was the
when
context of this?
she like offers to hold Nanami's hand, and
Yeah,
Nanami's
it's when
Oh.
Nanami listens.
Okay.
and
It's
she's
like,
just over
this
here
bitch lied.
like-
She does feel things.
I was like,
Yeah, she's
I
just-
remember, I was like, this is the Death Note stare. Okay, this is the, oh my god, where are they
Yes, it
Kira? Are they
was.
Kira?
She does have emotions.
Yeah, so she was
and 20
basically
of them are anger.
she was basically like testing Toko, like, do you actually have a crush on me? Basically. And she was weirded out when that was actually the case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they
I
were,
will.
yep, go on.
I was just gonna say that I think that this is a little bit as a product of just like the genres that I like to read. But I will say I enjoy almost how mundane the designs look. Because a lot of the stuff that I read is the stereotypical, like, the main character has the main character anime hair, and
Sure.
this is very much not that, and I kind of appreciate that about it. But it's not on the level of like Nichijou, which respect to Nichijou, but we definitely had trouble telling those characters apart. So
Yeah.
it's like a really nice middle ground between the two of those, I think.
Do you
which I'm
mean
enjoying.
Azumanga Daioh?
Yeah, Azumanga Daioh, yep.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I didn't finish it.
That's fair. No, it's fine. You're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know Nichijou, that shit.
Yeah,
I don't want to say this on a place that's gonna be recorded, but all 4 combos are the same to me. Not true, by the
my
way.
God.
Before anybody tries to
Cancel.
be like,
Cancel Andy. It's over.
Cancel. No.
Cancel Andy
over.
on Twitter.com.
But like they're in, I don't know, they're in the same category in my head, and I didn't finish it, so wasn't super memorable.
No, that's
But,
fine. That's fine.
I just remember that being something that we talked about, where it's like sorry, I got distracted.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not fine, lock in.
In
And
case,
the other
Lock
things
in
that I was
post Yuri.
saying,
yep.
I was thinking about the character design is I like Maki. He's
Yep.
just like chill. I kind of like the fact that he kind of almost gives like observer, and like the way that a lot of times when you have like reader inserts, quote unquote, for anime and manga, like that Maki is what they look like. So I think that's kind of amusing. But also, what was the other one? Oh, I like the hair of the writer one that likes creepy stuff.
Koyomi.
I can't remember her name.
Koyomi.
Oh, yes.
Koyomi, but I there's something like it's almost like they managed to make a bowl cut look cute, and I really fuck with it.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Which I liked specifically that, I understood this was going to be a Yuri series, and I understood Saiki seemed like she was, getting jealous of what was going on. I liked that we gave these other supporting characters like more meaningful roles over time with this, because I didn't know if this was going to turn out to be a series that we're solely just focusing on these two characters, and occasionally we cut to one of the other characters for like a comedic moment or something. Maki being like a observer of these kind of things. You got the writer girl. What is her name? I think she's the one girl's name I couldn't remember.
Koyomi.
Koyomi. She
we'll
has
get there.
her whole.
We'll get there one day, Anne. I'm sorry.
she has her whole.
Oh, you're fine.
Writing story going on about wanting to be a writer. Akari, going through her little off-screen love story with the person she went to the school to confess to. These characters, even though we don't necessarily see their full story on screen, they're still being developed in meaningful ways, which do add on to the kind of things that our main two couples are main two what's the term for them, the love interests are going through. Okay, it's very protagonists. Yeah, sure. I was trying to think of what the word was for two protagonists. Is it like duo antagonists? Deuteragonist. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of a love
Derogatory.
triangle, you could say. but-
That's yeah, because I had assumed that this series was
Yeah, I
primarily
mean-
going to be a love triangle. I thought that it was.
I'd be a lot more fine
primarily
with
gonna
it
be
if it
that.
was an act. actual love triangle, but Psyche's just being a coward.
You're like, I want blood. I want blood. Okay, get him, Psyche.
Like, look, if she was actually competing for Nanami, I'd hate her way less. But she's just trying to get in the way.
Yeah.
True. She's
Or,
trying to
like,
get the way
maybe-
Yuri.
Or maybe I'm almost wondering if maybe she's competing for Nanami in the way that like she thinks is like alluring to Nanami, but she misunderstands Nanami to an extent that is why
Yeah.
Yu is so much more like attractive to Nanami.
I don't
My
think she's
interpretation of her
competing.
stance on this is that like
Mm.
she knows that if she confesses to Nanami, she will be rejected. But if she never confesses, she can never be rejected.
Yeah, I had felt that was probably how she's
Real?
approached this too, because we had seen a backstory about their relationship together, where Nanami mentions to Saiki that she got confession from another person. This time it was actually a girl, and I rejected because I don't care who it is. I'm not going out with anybody, including women. And Saiki notices this, and I just assumed from that point on she was just like, hey, listen, as long as I'm close to her. Maybe eventually things will change, but right now she doesn't feel like that. But I'm gonna stay close to her. That's how it felt to me. It felt like she was just hanging around waiting for her shot in the future. And now Koito shows up immediately, is asked within like 5 minutes to be a campaign manager for Nanami, and she's like, the fuck is going on? Who the hell
This
are you?
bitch.
But
This fucking homewrecker.
But like you said, like she's just like, well, what am I gonna do? What am I supposed to do here? I guess I have to give her the speech that I pre-wrote, assuming that I was gonna read it now. But now I gotta give it to her. Oh, here's the speech for you. You can go read it. Oh, you might want to revise some things. I don't know. I wrote it as if I was gonna read it, but you can take a look and do your best with it. All right. Good luck with that. Good luck.
It's kind of like she gave her a wedding speech that she was supposed to deliver.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I was like, oh my god. And then they have a conversation later on, I think, while they're at like vending machines or something, which I think it was pretty much just you fuck with Nanami, I'll fucking kill you kind of talk. I don't remember how it went, but it felt like that.
Almost, I mean, yes, but
It
like
really
that's the scene that made me be like, oh, Sayaka doesn't understand Nanami at all.
Yeah.
Like she thinks that she does because she thinks that she's able to read her, but like I don't know why. I have no reason to have drawn that conclusion from that scene, because for all intents and purposes, all evidence laid out in front of me was that Sayaka understands Nanami to the extent to be able to do that. But there's something about the way that Sayaka is approaching the issue that makes me go, oh, she thinks she understands Nanami, but doesn't do what, like, wouldn't behave in the way that Nanami is, like, seeking in the relationship, which is why Nanami likes you so much and wouldn't be able to reciprocate Sayaka, her feelings.
I understand what you're saying. I think for me, the issue here is that Saiki may even understand the true side of Nanami that there is. She may understand that. They've been close for so long. She may see the real side of her. She may actually understand her. But the problem is still that understanding someone doesn't mean that you will have the stronger connection than somebody who not only understands but feels the same way. In Koito and Nanami's case, they connected instantly through their struggles to understand the feelings that come with love. And Saiki probably doesn't feel that way because she's probably had a crush on Nanami for ever since she's known her, probably. So they were never really going to have that sort of connection in a way, which made it harder for them to become as close the way that Koito and Nanami almost instantly became close, I guess. That's how I kind of felt about it, because, Saiki definitely does care about her and probably does see the real side of her. I think she, when they're having the discussion about why did you make Koito your manager, and she gives the excuse, and she's like, that kind of feels like something you thought of after the fact. It all makes sense, but it doesn't feel like that's one of the main reasons here. It's and she picks up on that at least, and for the most part, she's kind of stepping back from the things that are happening. It feels almost like in some ways she's just like, I'll just see how this turns out. I'm sure this will crash and burn after a couple weeks of it going on. Maybe it kind of feels like that kind of attitude with that, where she's just like waiting to see what goes wrong with it so that she could pick up the pieces in a way. But
Yeah.
it's
and then,
very
like a month
interesting.
later, she's kind of freaking out.
Yeah. She's like, wait a minute, it's not just a small time thing. Oh my god, it's still going on. Oh,
the other
God.
thing with Sayaka versus you is, they both have some level of understanding of Toko and her private sides, right? But Sayaki is she's supporting what Toko says she wants to do.
Yes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But she's not actually very much in touch with what is actually good for her.
Exactly.
Or like what she probably should be doing, right? So Sayaka is kind of just going along and saying, okay, Toko, you say you want to do this, so I'm going to support you. But Yu is willing to question Toko and say, hey,
Yes.
actually, like, this is not good for you. Like, you're hurting yourself here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I know this is what you want, but just because you want that or believe you want that doesn't mean I should support you.
Yep.
Fully in doing that.
Yep, that was exactly their issue when it came to the student council play. Yep.
Yeah, so I would agree that Sayaki does understand that, like, she is, because she's the one that tells her to go look about her sister and stuff. So I definitely do think that she understands that part of Nanami, but she just thinks that she should just go along with it or something, or that it's better this way.
I think she wants to support Toko's goals and interests and how she wants to handle her life, right? Like she trusts Toko's judgment of her own situation and stuff, which is, kind and respectful, but also sometimes people need to be called out on their shit, right?
Yeah.
We can also look at it as like maybe she's fearful if she doesn't explicitly do that she won't be able to stay with her.
Absolutely.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Sayaka is a very, very risk-averse person, funny enough.
Yeah, you're either with me or you're against me.
Right.
I can see Nanami like that, because she kind of already is, you don't want to do the play, why not?
Yep. Yeah, it's oh my god, it's where do I even
okay, so
I'm sure it'll get lighter from here, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I wish that I took a screenshot. I'm actually really mad that I didn't. But I was telling one of my coworkers at work today in our DMs about what I think is going to happen, and I was wondering if I could say that to see if I'm wrong in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We love prediction posts, especially when they're wrong.
Absolutely,
cool. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Fuck you. It's mer people.
What do you mean it's mer people? What the fuck?
I would say you will probably be wrong. I would like to bet that.
It was small bombs.
There's at least one lesbian mermaid show. It's fine.
We'll explain to you the mer people bit later, Iron. Don't worry about it.
I think that is hiding her family's
I
secret
also would
stash of
appreciate an
Nazi
explanation.
gold.
True.
So unlike the thing with Sayaki, I have evidence for this one. Okay.
Oh,
Wait, evidence for what? Wait, evidence for what? Evidence for what?
Let him talk.
For my prediction. For why there's mer people, guys.
I was getting worried we were going into an actual mer people prediction. I was getting worried about that for a second.
No.
All right, go on.
So
that's not what we're doing?
You see all the water imagery.
Okay, all right. Go on, Andy.
I don't think any of them are going to die. That was like a joke. That's just what I say.
Sure.
But my prediction. based on the fact that the volume 2 ended with Nanami saying, "Don't change, don't fall in love with me," I'm assuming what's going to happen is throughout the course of the manga, Yu is going to come to fall in love with Nanami in that way that, like, the other way, where Nanami was like, "I see you instantly, I'm in love." Yu is going to be more of like that demi-romantic kind of situation where she's going to have to get accustomed to the idea of their relationship before she starts feeling like that floaty feeling that she was talking about, which is why it's called bloom into Yu, because she has to take time to be able to grow and develop and change as a person and start to bloom as a person before she can realize, hey, I actually do love this person. But in the end, because Yu changed and Yu was able to accept herself, Nanami decides, hey, actually, I don't like that part of you anymore. We can't be in love. Now that you've taken all this time to fall in love with me and you've grown as a person and you have bloomed into who you were supposed to be, I don't like you anymore. I liked you better when you didn't like me. That's my prediction.
Yep, I was feeling the same kind of way.
That sounds like it's just gonna be like volume 6. Like,
yeah, I mean, because that was basically what happened with their scene talking to each other at the end of volume 2, where it's you trying to talk to her about the play, being trying to actually tell her, like, I know you're trying to do this and putting up a front about doing this, but I know this is affecting you in a probably not good way, and we should probably talk about that, work through that. We don't necessarily have to do it if it's making you feel bad or whatever, if you're doing too much or whatever. And she's trying to talk to her about it, and I think it felt like in a way she was trying to not necessarily leverage, but she maybe sort of assumed that because Nanami had a crush on her, she would value the things that she says more without question than other people. And as soon as she tries to express that, it's immediately like Nanami being like, oh, I'd rather die than be told something like that. I'm walking away now, okay? And it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then, like, it only really, she's brought back to you by you just immediately saying, I'm never gonna fall in love with you, or I'm not, I won't fall in love with you, I'm not trying to, I don't know if, how I feel about you right now, I just, want to be there to support you or whatever.
Which is a lie.
Right, yeah, true, but it's
which
what
is cool, like, it's really interesting.
Yeah, and it does make Nanami happy to hear a thing like that too, which is interesting dynamic going on with that.
It's fascinating to me how this is like borderline toxic this is. Like,
but it's like toxic to themselves.
It's not healthy, but it's also not like the most toxic thing in the world, know? Like,
right.
I've read way more
usually
toxic
when you read,
stuff than this. I've written way more
usually when you read toxic Yuri, like, this is not what people think when they think toxic Yuri, right? But
we're gonna read Citrus next.
But it's like, if it was real life,
like,
you'd be like, girl, get away from her.
Yes, it's like that, like, realistic kind of toxic. Like, you could see this playing out in a high school right now, like I really enjoyed the 2 volumes that we have read so far.
They're good.
Very
very
good
powerful.
dynamics.
Yep, very powerful.
And I just really love the main character.
That makes me
The
happy.
setup actually, I'm sorry to bring boys into this.
Oh my god, how could you? How could you?
Dare you?
I was nearing the end of volume 2, and I was like, wait a second. This is basically like the Yuri version and toxic version of Sasaki and Miyano. Because the premise of Sasaki and Miyano is, it's a boys' love.
Yep.
That the main character, Miyano, loves boys' love manga. And then a guy confesses to it, like, just on sight, like, love at first sight, falls in love with him. And he eventually confesses to him. And the main character's like, what do I do with this? I'm just gonna string you along for like a year and a half. But it's a comedy. So it's the same premise, but it's a comedy. And this is literally, well, I've read shoujo forever, and now somebody has finally confessed to me. But I don't know how I feel about it, so I'm just gonna string her along forever.
Yep.
Like, I'm kind of gonna be, accepting of it, but I'm also just pretty much stringing her along. So, it's interesting to see pretty much the same premise, but in a more toxic way, which is more realistic. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Stringing somebody along for that long without even an answer. But obviously here it's much more upfront of like she really wants to say yes, and it's just interesting to see that kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Anne, for bringing up boys.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you?
I'm gonna cry myself to sleep later, but it's fine. It's unrelated.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, Koito just going through to try to discover, like, because it feels like she wants to feel that feeling and she just doesn't understand how to do it, and in some ways she doesn't know, it leads her to like string people along, and she doesn't know like whether or not being with somebody for long enough will have her feel that way and such. Like she doesn't know, at least to herself, maybe subconsciously in some ways, but like in her thoughts at least, she's not sure. She's constantly questioning how she's feeling about these things. It's I think when I think about those kind of things, I remember that one scene where she's in her bedroom with the souvenir that she got her. She got her a souvenir that was like one of those lights that puts stars on your around your room. And her sister tried to come in and try to
bring boys up again, but that scene was so Tweak and Craig coded.
Oh my god, what are you Tweak and Craig? Why do we bring up Tweak and Craig in this goddamn book club? Oh my god, I did not expect to hear that tonight.
You haven't read the South Park manga?
No, I know that. Listen. I just didn't expect it tonight. Of all things, okay? First of all right, Ari has already mentioned boys, okay? All right, so we met that quota, but now you're bringing up South Park boys on top of it all.
Did you know that there's a town in California called South Park?
I think we should burn it to the fucking ground.
Huh, okay.
Motion to ban Andy.
Well, any seconds? Any seconds?
To read your government assigned Yuri now.
I did bring the government assigned Yuri.
No, you've been assigned more now because you had to open your mouth and say that.
That's true. That's true. You got to read Citrus next. Okay, good luck.
You need to buy give me some of that,
right now. Ava Natsuki fanfic. Hand it over.
That's true. Based.
Oh, okay. Give me a minute.
All right. But yeah. So the scene I was talking about was like the stars in the walls, and her sister tries to come in and tries to make a joke like, "Oh, I caught a star." She's like, "No, you didn't. Get the hell out," or whatever. And then she's just sitting alone, thinking to herself like, "Maybe one day I can."
She's so good to her sister. I love it.
I can. Yes. Yeah. I like those little moments too. But she's just sitting there afterwards.
So
she's just sitting afterwards like, maybe one day, I too can reach this star or whatever. And I was like, oh, this very, very nice little alone moments like that. Okay, they're very cute. Okay. And it's very funny that it also happens immediately after her being like, get the fuck out of my room, to her sister. It feels very real with like moments like that. Okay, it feels very nice. It has a comedy moments which are very funny, but it doesn't feel like too much to detract from all of everything else going on. Yeah. What else did we have here? I'm trying to think if there's any other big important plot things to mention, because we know that they're doing the student play for the student council, and I think the explanation for why the student council used to do it was that most of the funding in the past used to go primarily to sports, I think. And so, or was it something like that? I forget what. It was something like having the student council hold a play for it would allow other clubs to get involved with a project, which could help them get more funding. I think, in a way, I think it was something along those lines. But I remembered it at least being like it lets us get these other clubs involved with something. That's like a bigger thing for the cultural festival. I think it was something along those lines. Was like the reasoning behind why that started, which was interesting that we came up with like a story for like that, and then it goes into okay, well, we're going to do this. We've decided we're going to do this, but who's going to write it? Because it's typically been written by somebody else, apparently. And I think at first, Koito, despite clearly knowing someone who could write for them, because her friend literally gave her a manuscript to read that she was working on for like a contest or a magazine submission, I think. And she clearly knows somebody who could write, but the council's like, oh, does anybody know anybody who we could reach out to? And she just doesn't mention the friend yet. I forget, what was the reason why she didn't mention Koyomi? Was it like
because she didn't want to be a part of the play. It was.
Oh yeah, because this was at the point where she was like, I don't know if I support the play being a thing at all. I see. Yeah. And that's where Saiki kind of had the interaction with her.
Block it however she could.
I remember, yeah, and that's where Saiki was just like, "Oh, so you do know somebody? So you're trying to decide things for my queen, Nanami? Are you? Huh? Don't fuck with her. Don't fuck with her." That's exactly how all those scenes felt to me.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point. Like, no, yeah, and it's exactly how Sayaka goes full bullheaded on supporting what Toko says she wants to do, right? And Yu is willing to question it. So it's that same thread.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, so I again, like I said earlier, I really like that even our supporting cast gets to have their own little arcs going on, which are primarily off screen, but it's integral to additions for what's going on with our main love story here. You know, that impacted that, and it's very nice, and I'm interested to see what Nakatani is going to do to develop these like side characters and what they have going on too. I'm interested to see how they develop as well. Yeah, there's
we still have not talked about one of what I think is one of the most important scenes in the first 2 volumes.
Go on.
Which is the very, very last scene at the end of volume 2, which is sort of a flashback of Toko's memory and her thoughts about the word love.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Chap, did you want to give that synopsis, or you want me to?
It would probably be better if you do. I'm trying to find the pages now because I don't remember exactly the wording of how it played out. But
it's like at the very, very end.
Yes, I'm.
It's like the very end of chapter 10.
Right.
But I can. Yeah. So basically, the gist of it is, we're reflecting back on. We're in Toko's mind here, and we're reflecting back on the time when her sister died, and she had all these expectations placed on her. Under the guise of all this pressure, under the guise of, we respect your sister so much, and we love you, and we love her, and we want you to, sort of to take after her. She was so wonderful, blah blah blah. And so she says, love is a violent word because it shackles you. It places expectations and forces you to be a certain way. And so from this point, we actually get a little bit of a reveal that, Toko was attracted to you because you said, I will never, I'm never going to be attracted to you. And so therefore, Toko feels like she'll never have more expectations being placed on her and more weight coming from you. So it feels like a place that she's free to be herself.
Yes. And I think when I remembered reading it, the whole bit about love being a violent word and her reasoning for it really stood out to me. it was something like
I can read it.
yes.
Love is a violent word. Phrases like, I love that about you, and if you did that, I would fall out of love with you. The word love is like a shackle.
Oh, yes.
And then we get the moment of reflecting back to
Yep.
to you know, saying that she can't fall in love with someone.
Yep. Yep.
And then Toko says,
Which is-
because you have never loved, I thought you were the nicest person in the world.
Which is funny that she uses the word shekel when you is like, oh, I thought love would feel like wings lifting me off the ground.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
And you know, love wasn't in her vocabulary, and so it the reasoning for how she feels about her makes a whole lot more sense when you have this context for like how she feels about these things. But it is still weird to see in a sense, because it's like love isn't in your vocabulary, and it makes me love you. But I don't. If you were to love me, I don't know if I would feel the same. I would have that worry about it being a violent thing. So, like with her, we're gonna have to go through. You know, if we want this relationship to actually work out, we're gonna have to go through a whole process where like Koito is gonna over time, you know, understand her feelings towards Nanami, and Nanami is gonna have to come to understand and accept and trust Koito and their relationship together, because it seems like the main fears with her association with love being a violent word is the, if I were to change it all, or if I do this thing that you don't like, then you will no longer love me, as if like, you know, this is a conditional thing, and so, you know, and it felt like in those scenes her reasoning for it was mostly from how things were worded in like confession letters and such, which worded of things like that. And it interests me that her experience with that has made her believe the word love to be a conditional thing, whereas, you know, I'm just trying to.
I think it
work through my
reflects
thoughts on it.
all the expectations that were placed on her after her sister's death.
Of
right?
course, yeah, because you know, yeah, of course.
Yeah, she feels like she has to earn it. But the other thing I want to say about the scene is, it's actually, it reveals to us that Toku is actually being like profoundly selfish,
Yes.
like extremely selfish, right? Because she wants to be with someone who will never love her, so she's never shackled or restrained. But at the same time, she's willing and you know, and does, from her point of view, shackle you, like to
Yep.
put that on her so that she doesn't change, so that they can continue being together,
Yep.
so that Toko never has to deal with these expectations. So it's actually a
Yeah.
very profoundly selfish act from Toko's point of view.
Yeah, she's literally doing the thing that makes the word love violent to her. You know, if you changes and does
She's
turn
saying,
out to
"Don't
love
change.
her, you
Never
know,
change."
you know, yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck.
Ugh.
This series is probably gonna kill me by the time we're done. It's probably gonna kill me.
I'm glad I've gotten this kind of reaction again.
I know Andy was screaming in my chat last night like that this series is gonna kill her or him. Sorry. This like you were screaming that in my chat while I'm playing Sonic Heroes. You were like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?"
I think I was like, this is gonna emotionally destroy me, because even during the happy scenes, like I could feel myself getting choked up, and I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna destroy me." they're too relatable.
Oh yeah. No, I had that happen to me. I was rewatching the anime. Like there was one time where I did rewatch the anime and just cry at like every episode. It's not even that sad, really. It just hit.
Yeah,
It's just
Yep.
it's
tender.
not
It's
that,
raw.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not that what's happening is sad, but it's like I don't know, like, especially if
I mean,
you've kind of
it
been through
is
those emotions, like,
sad.
it hits
Like,
hard.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's mostly the feeling of that
There's-
connection with how real some of these emotions they're portraying are to like emotions that you felt or considered and such. Yeah, it's you feel
And
it,
how
yeah.
well they're portrayed, because that's sometimes something that's difficult for a lot of authors to get, and I think that it's done really well here, like
Yep.
actually capturing that kind of feeling, or even in some cases lack of feeling.
Yep, absolutely.
Or the lack of ability to recognize what it is that you are feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's that one panel, for example, like in the scene with where they're under the train bridge and Yu is saying, "Hey, don't do the play." There's that one panel where Yu is just like bright red, blushy, right? But she still kind of refuses to
There are
acknowledge.
so many times in the first 2 volumes. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No.
There's so many times in the first 2 volumes where it's very obvious to not just the audience, but to other characters that Yu is feeling at least some type of way about Toko. But she is
Yu's sister comments on it, right? Like,
yeah, there's literally the bit like we kind of talked about this scene a little bit already, but when she's in her room with the like little star projector thing,
Yep.
and she literally like falls asleep and like cuddling it.
Yes. Yep. And she's like, she's thinking to herself, if only I could choose ... Like she's saying, I wish my heart would choose for me. If only I could choose. As she's like cuddling, and I'm like, oh my god.
And it's just that very obvious thing. It's like, to everyone else who can see how Yu is acting, she is very clearly in love with Toko, or at least reciprocating her feelings to some extent. But it's not the thing that you expected it to be.
Yeah.
Which I think ties into, like, I've tried to be mostly quiet. I'm not doing the best job at that. But I think this series overall is one that is very efficient at depicting the effects of homophobia. The ways that because you see this also, oh god, I'm now paralleling it in my brain to another thing. But there's that scene where they're all having dinner and everyone's having that conversation of like, oh, did you bring home a boyfriend? No. Did you bring home a girlfriend? And the dad says that comment of, if it had been a girlfriend, I would have had to put my foot down. And there's
which I don't think actually. I read. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but
No,
I
go
read
ahead.
this in I read fragments in English and fragments in Japanese, sort of as I was going along, and I actually don't think "putting your foot down" is a good translation of that. It's more like he would have like recoiled or been surprised.
By
but
the
it
way,
is a little bit more severe than just like.
Just real quick with that scene, my translation of it, which was the Seven Seas translation, I believe it said I would have had to put my food down, not foot.
Food.
Yeah,
okay.
I read food.
I
read food.
I thought it was foot.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. I
And I
believe
was
it was
like,
food,
what?
and because the way I had interpreted it was him saying I would have been shocked. I don't really think it would have been. I would have said no to that. I think it would have been. I would have been shocked.
That's what I read.
Just
it was like he would have been
remembered, like-
taken aback, but not like, you're not my daughter anymore. He would have just been like,
Yeah. That's how the Japanese
Okay.
read to me. So.
Okay, all right. Spaghetti, you were gonna say something?
I was gonna say, this is a stupid side comment, but I have been going through a lot of very dense text-heavy material these past 2 weeks, and I remember just sitting there reading. He'd put his food down, like, what? I literally was sitting there for 5 minutes, like, what is? Put his food down? Like, your food's on the table. It's already down. Like,
it's on the table.
Okay, so Anne, you've
yes.
now been you've now been interrupted like 6 levels here. So please
It's
go
fine.
ahead.
I deserve it. Soul in the chat said one group that translated it used foot, whereas the Seven Seas translation used food.
Yeah.
Which it does definitely give a different vibe to that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing I was going to sort of parallel it to, there's this movie that came out last year called I Saw the TV Glow.
Yes,
which
very good.
I think does a
Oh,
very
gosh.
similar thing. That moment in the
Yep.
car when Owen is asking his parents if he can stay up to watch The Pink Opaque.
Oh my god.
And his dad just says,
in the most ominous looking framing ever with his dad in all the scenes. Oh my god, you feel the primal like I am terrified of my parents.
I would say second
in those
most
scenes.
ominous.
No, I understand,
I would
but
say
like
second most ominous, but
sure,
no, yeah, it's like just this moment of very real horror, but also like keeping someone in line.
Yeah.
And I think with this specific translation of like putting my foot down, that scene feels like a pretty clear parallel in my mind.
Sure.
Of just how insidious those things can be and how detrimental they can be to people who are trying to grow up and find themselves within those systems.
Absolutely, yeah. Whether the comment is foot or food, I mean, obviously it's different degrees of like severity depending on how that plays out. But
yeah, absolutely.
Making a comment like that in general is probably not a good thing in that, because it puts the pressure on.
That wasn't very ally
her.
of you.
Yeah, it puts the pressure on Koito to be like, oh, should I not be pursuing? Like, I mean, I don't think Koito is really concerned about that as much as she's more concerned about how the fuck she feels about Nanami.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's definitely there, that comment happening. But
and
it is.
I would describe the Japanese as like a. Like he's definitely like surprised and not like pleased necessarily, but also not like reacting aggressively or violently, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that also just ties into a lot of how sort of if we're taking like Yu's examination of her feelings as this sort of like homophobia metaphor, she is quite literally experiencing love in a way that is different from what society told her it was going to be.
Yep.
And she's therefore not able to recognize it as being what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also, on a similar note, I don't know how common this is necessarily, but I've also seen a decent amount of reading Toko as a trans femme character, and that gets fucking layers, man.
Huh. I had never considered that. That's interesting.
Who was Toko?
Nanami.
Nanami, yeah. The
president.
Oh,
president. Yeah.
I haven't learned their full names yet. I will get there.
You will.
No,
or else.
You're fine. I'm the one that's rewatched this so many fucking times.
Wow.
Yeah, how dare you?
No, that is a really. I had not thought of that, but I'm going to be thinking about that for a while, actually.
You're welcome.
Now I need to read the whole thing again.
Good news about book club.
So speaking of something similar to that, I'm sorry to bring up men again.
Oh my god, we gotta ban you. We gotta get you out of here.
I am
Men in my Yuri series?
They're only meant to be observers, okay?
More likely than you think.
Alright, go on.
Okay, some of them are only temporarily men.
Alright, go on, Ari. Oh my god.
And we can change that.
Okay. All right, go on, Ari, go on.
With guidance and
Life's
coaching,
thirst.
you too can transcend your mortal limits.
So I'm curious how it will tackle it in the volumes. Because one of my gripes with Sasaki and Miyano is how the characters, because like I said, it's very similar premise, like pretty much the same basic premise, but it's a comedy slice of life, cute, not toxic,
Right,
not
yeah,
borderline. Y'all need therapy.
yeah.
And one of my gripes with it is how, especially because the main character is so into boys' love, even after the two get into a relationship, at no point do they ever refer to themselves as being gay. However, every other character around them refers to them as being gay. And they will have narrations and thoughts of how will these two get through the future. Like people that are gay are like being more widely accepted, but some people still have biases against that. They will face some bigotry because of this. And basically my gripe with it is that the characters, the two that are actually gay, are not ever given the thought or the chance to consider themselves as gay, even though they clearly are. They're in a relationship, they've come out to their parents and stuff, who are supportive, but
You mean the boys in this
characters
BL series?
around
Okay.
them, the characters around them are able to label them as gay. So I'm curious to see how they tackle that in this, because like in older Yuri and Yaoi, we didn't really have the labels used as we do now, because now you'll see Yaoi and Yuri where they do like just write out gay in like hiragana and stuff. So I'm very curious to see how they do that, because I never seen that before, where the actual gay characters never call themselves that, but everyone around them has monologues and narration about how these two, they're going to need to support each other to face the bigotry that they're going to have to face together. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm curious how Bloom and 2 is going to tackle that, because I bring this up because it seems like it will go, it will bring these issues up eventually. At least that's what I am assuming.
Sure.
Because to me, it looks like it will. How these
Right.
two will tackle that. Because as Anne was mentioning, we already did see some of that with the father character and the sister commenting like, "Oh, you got a girlfriend?" So I'm interested to see that in the future.
Yeah. It is going to be very interesting. We will forgive the fact that you brought up boys again, because it is an interesting observation to make.
I'm sorry.
So you are
sorry.
forgiven.
I'm sorry.
You are
I won't do
forgiven.
it again.
If it happens a third time, though, I'm afraid, it's over. So,
Sorry.
what's up, Andy?
Judge, I would like to posit that if they're queer, it falls into the queer category, not the boys
That's
category,
true.
and
That's
therefore
true.
it's okay.
That's true.
Sustained.
I get the pass.
Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a very interesting observation. I wanted to bring up, not related to that, just because it was on the top of my mind. For those of us who read the official Seven Seas translation of it, okay, so one thing that I didn't mention towards the beginning that I forgot to, the official translation is actually translated by the same person who did the translation for the New Game manga over at Seven Seas. And I had wondered if their prior work, I don't know how much work they've done before on like 4 comic series or something, but there was a pattern that I noticed with like, this probably wouldn't be related to them. It'd probably be related to whoever did the lettering. But anyways, there was a pattern I noticed with the translation of it, or at least the typesetting of it, where a random word was always boldened in a lot of the bubbles, which, you know, when that when that happens, you assume they're putting emphasis on that word, which would make sense for some of these bubbles. But there was a lot of bubbles that where it's happening where I'm just like, why did we need to bolden this one? And it's the kind of like styling that I feel more so in like 4 commas. You know, where they have to be loading a lot of stuff and expression and emotions into just the 4 panels. So they tend to do that a lot more from my experience. So it was interesting to see that here too.
I was reading it wrong, so thanks for confirming that.
Yeah, because I had wondered if
I thought I was just seeing shit sometimes.
No, because I had wondered if that was just my version of like the way I was reading it too. But no, that is just some of the words were just boldened and like sized up a little bit in a way in some of those, and I started noticing it a lot more and being like slightly annoyed by it, because like I'm looking at a page here that says it looks like a romantic drama between a man and a woman, but partway through the book 2 women end up dating instead. Apparently, there are scenes where they XXX and XXX and stuff. Does Senpai know about all of that? And I'm just, okay, I understand. We're putting emphasis on some of these words. It's happening a lot. A lot more than it probably should. And I had wondered...
Did you not know that it is English typesetting rules that you need to put women in bold?
Oh, that one's true. That one's true. That one's true, especially in Yuri. That one's true. That one's true. I had wondered because Iron, you had mentioned.
Forget about feminism, chap.
True, Iron. I was wondering because you said you read parts of it in Japanese. Is this like a thing that was like there in the Japanese version, all like where there was like a specific emphasis on a lot of
no,
words?
I didn't notice it.
Okay, all right. So, because I know, you know, some of the sometimes it's like that because it's like that in the Japanese version in some way or another. Like either it's literally a different font there or something. But yeah, so that is very interesting.
Although I will say, one interesting thing that I did notice about the typesetting in the Japanese version, it has furigana on all of the kanji, like all of them.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very good. Yeah,
it's really nice. Like it's very
really
convenient, but it's like they have like furigana on like watashi, like really basic stuff that you wouldn't normally. I don't remember.
That was Dengeki Bio.
Yeah, yeah, Dengeki Daio, published by ASCII Media Works in the Dengeki Daio magazine. So for those of you listening who don't know what we're referring to when we talk about furigana, that is when it is you see the kanji in the Japanese text, but next to it in like smaller font will be the hiragana way to read those kanji, which helps a lot for people to understand or be able to more easily look up what the kanji actually means. From what I understand, a lot of the times that is done for like younger audiences to be able to more easily read all of the kanji. It's typically mostly done for like character names only usually. But in some cases, you know, like this, I suppose it's actually, I don't know if this is necessarily meant for a younger audience, but I know they do this a lot with shonen manga, where they do that a lot because that their audience is primarily younger boys. Specifically, I know Idle Story, you know, the other manga by the author of New Game. That one I've read since it's been releasing on Comic Fuse. It's a digital release. It's not in like a monthly physical magazine. It's in monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, like digital release through there. This is the only title on that entire website, I think, that has furigana. I don't know why it has furigana, but it is the only one that does. I had saw that, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is great for me specifically, so I can enjoy one of my series from my favorite authors as it's releasing. I can more easily read it. And I had hoped this was the thing for more areas on the website, so I could keep looking around in other series and try out some new things. But it is the only one that does that. So I don't understand why it did that there either. I don't know why, you know, they would do it here for this. I don't know if that's just typical for that magazine, perhaps. But that is great that you've mentioned it, because now I could potentially, look back at this series through the Japanese version and probably have a shot at more easily being able to read through it and practice with it. So that is very interesting.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I did not expect that it would have furigana, especially not like this many furigana. But
Right.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
You almost tripped me up. I almost mentioned boys again because you mentioned furry.
Oh my god.
just agreeing, yeah, like a lot of shonen use this video because younger audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why it's surprising that this uses Fitty.
Oh no, I think I was the one who mentioned boys then, because I mentioned I was the one who did it. Oh no.
Yes, and you always got me saying.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Forgive
me for my sins. I mentioned shonen during the Yuri podcast. I'm so sorry.
Guards.
Seize him.
Yeah, there you go. What was your sin, Battler? Talking about boys during the Yuri podcast.
Death.
Dies
Death by small bombs.
Yeah, so that was the main thing I noticed. I mean, everything else, I think the translation was like perfectly, really well done. I liked how we handled a lot of the side text stuff. All that stuff was handled very, very well. It was mostly just, I was like, why the fuck are we bolding every like 5 words here? It's a bit much at times, but eventually I started trying to ignore it, but sometimes it would just show up again. Because it was like what Aztec was saying. I just kept thinking to myself, is my version of it just like being weird with it? Nope, that's just like that. That's just like that. Okay, all right, fair enough. But yeah, so that was like a little technical thing about the translation that I wanted to bring up. I don't know how it is for any other version that you guys have been reading. I'd imagine they don't bolden every 5 words there. But as we've discovered from the foot versus food situation, they do in fact give very different impressions at times. So be careful. Yeah.
That's why I was switching back and forth between English and Japanese, because I was like, I can read the English more quickly, but I also really enjoy like getting the nuance that's in the Japanese version, right? So
you know what? That's it. It's got furigana. Okay, all of us have to read it in Japanese. Good luck. Good luck, Andy. I believe in you. Nihongo Jozu. All right. What do we want to talk about next here? Oh yeah, I don't think we mentioned there was a scene where Nanami comes over to her room and they're hanging in the room. What happened? There was like awkward stuff happening in there. I think it was something like a hand asking her to feel her heart pulse through her hand, and Koito's just like, okay, fine, and Nanami's just like freaking the fuck out over it.
No, she put her hand over her chest and was like, "Do you want to listen to how fast my heart is going?" And then she's like, "Haha, JK." And then you just grabbed her arm.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Unless.
Yeah,
and she's just like, "What the fuck?"
The thing that caught me off guard, the thing that I found weird about that scene was, and this is because I have a thing about my bed, okay? Like, that's my space, was Toko like leaning back and like sniffing her sheets. Yeah. That was a little weird to me. And I felt vindicated when there was that little punchline with the stuffed animals at the end that were like, we saw everything.
We saw it all. Yeah, because she was like alone in her room at the time waiting for her, and she took the moment to do that.
If you want to put it up.
Yes, I will post it.
Yeah.
Put it up on stream.
Where is it? In spoilers? It's in spoilers, right? Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, Soul just bumped it.
Okay, I see it. Oh no, wait, it's got her on the bed cropped out. Wait. She was like below it on the bed. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Was that your cat?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. I was like, what was that? Was that somebody? Was somebody? This is volume.
When I'm using my desk, she likes to walk circles around my computer until I pay attention to her. So in order to annoy her and to leave me alone, I pat her really aggressively and then she meows.
Oh,
looks
Soul
like Soul
found it.
got
Thank
it.
you. Thank you, Soul. Thank you to the Peanut Gallery. Here we go. We saw everything.
So good.
But yeah, she like leaves her in the room and says, all right, stay here for a minute, and then leaves her alone in there, and then she's like looking around and doing that, and then she comes back in. All right, so we're gonna study, right? We're gonna study. That's what we're gonna do, right? We're not gonna do anything weird, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We're just gonna eat cheesecake patty.
Oh my god, cheesecake. I want cheesecake.
Cheesecake is such a weird food. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of cheesecake.
What?
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
like
you're
cheesecake
banned.
either.
I'm sorry.
Guys.
I'm sorry,
right
you're
now.
all banned. I'm sorry. Everybody who hates cheesecake.
No,
okay?
I don't
I'm
like
afraid.
cheesecake
I'm afraid
either.
this is everybody who hates
Finally.
cheesecake. This is a worse offense than bringing up boys during Yuri. I'm sorry to say.
I
all
don't-
I
right?
made
I
my
think
own
for me-
Japanese cheesecake for my birthday, okay?
Base.
I will
Then you're safe. You're
different.
safe.
all of you
You're
in the
safe.
That
fucking
is- no,
street right
no,
now.
die.
I don't like warm cheesecake. I think that like I need it to be cold.
Okay.
But
I don't like
cheesecake is
this
getting
cold
into
food when it gets warm. Yeah, no shit.
well, I don't know. Like maybe some people serve cheesecake hot. I don't know. It's also just like a weird food in general. Like you're telling me you put some stuff into cream cheese and then baked it and it became spongy. What the fuck are
Yes,
you
and it's
talking
peak,
about?
and it's peak,
That's
and it's
pretty
peak,
weird.
Every
No,
baked
that's not.
good.
and it's
It's
peak.
like every baked
Man, you're gonna
good.
freak out when you learn how bread is made.
I was about to say the same thing.
That always seems like flour and
I don't
gluten
think
in
you can
it.
talk about that on
Sorry,
Twitch.
I'm not
know,
allergic to
like,
gluten. I can eat
The muffins
bread.
are made. It's gonna be over.
I just don't like the texture
Oh yeah.
or the taste.
Uh,
The texture is like what I imagine it would feel like to eat wet drywall.
what the fuck?
Oh, you're right. I hate that. No, you're right.
Huh?
No,
Yeah.
we're going back
Oh,
to
cheesecake.
Subliminity.
I think I have to ban several people
Hey,
in
hey,
here.
the cheesecake was irrelevant.
They tricked you.
What the
I'm just saying. Whoever told you that was cheesecake, they were lying.
Oh my god.
Maybe
All
I've
right.
only ever had like cheap cheesecake or something.
There are
Maybe.
two different, equally worrying conversations happening.
Look, as long as the drywall has lead paint on it, it's nice and sweet.
Is lead sweet? Does lead taste sweet?
It does, yeah.
I don't know. I'll go find out.
That's sick. That's actually really
Yeah, I
funny.
will be.
What the fuck is going on with my book club chat? What the fuck is happening here?
Have we hit the 2-hour mark yet?
We did hit-
have!
we did hit 2
That's
hours,
what's
yeah.
wrong with your book club.
What do you
Please
mean? What?
check your voice.
Oh my god. All right. We did have the little interlude comics. The main one that I remembered being was the one with her at the bookstore being just like, yeah, I get to find out what kind of books everyone's really into, and then we go into like each of our like side characters and what kind of stuff they typically read, which I thought was cute. I got it here. So we got Akari.
That's really cute.
She only ever buys manga. And she specifically says, I like sports manga. Koyomi, she buys books by her favorite novelists and subscribes to literary magazines. Very on brand. And then there's like side text, do you have the new issue yet? We do. She's a very frequent customer. Very nice. Saiki Senpai, she buys paperbacks and literary criticism. And then she's like, I'm not all that into fiction. I wonder what this says about her in terms of everything going on. Interesting. Nanami Senpai, she buys reference books and bestsellers. And then that's where we get into, oh, I've heard of this. This is the one where they do the and it turns out to be this or whatever. It turns out to just be lesbian smut. Is she buying it so I could get a reaction? And it was that whole bit, which we talked about earlier. But then afterwards, we get the little side thing about you, where she says,
Oh yeah, the you.
as for me, I like mysteries and sci-fi and stuff. It's a very cute like photo of her. I'll show it because I think you
She
posted it in
just like me
spoilers.
for real.
I'll show this
I did.
one.
I did post it.
Yeah, I got it. Right here. As for me, I like mysteries and sci-fi and stuff. She's also just like me, for real, for real. Very nice. It's a cute little interlude chapter. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Was there another one that I'm not remembering that we might not have brought up? There might have been one, but we might have brought it up already.
I think the other interlude chapter was less cute, and it was Toko talking about her feelings on love.
Oh yeah, that one. And we had that one, and then we also had the little bit about Saiki serving tea to or coffee to some of the people in there. That little comic.
It's a good bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and the spicy candy where Toko gets the spicy one, but she pretends that she didn't.
Oh. We had Afterwards by Nakatani. I don't really remember what they said in them. I was really bad at it this week. I've remembered it because I read both of these volumes last week. Yeah, because Nakatani's little afterward comics. It's like Nakatani is representing herself as a bird. I think she said like the it was a reference to a name of a city or something. Oh god, I don't remember what it was now. Oh wait, I'm on volume 2, so I'm not gonna get it there. Let me go to volume 1s afterward and see. Let's see. Thank you, Fuse, in chat for Fuse said this is why I love tuning into book club, and then linked a clip that's just titled Bread Truth Bomb. So I wonder what that clip could be about.
Was that on Twitch?
Yeah, it's on Twitch. Yeah, there's been a few messages over time that I haven't like read because I didn't want to interrupt people. The messages since the beginning was Andy saying, driving home right now, there's a crash, help me, before joining. Fuse Hunter,
Drive safe, Andy.
For some reason had said it was all for this moment in reference to something way earlier, probably. And then Soul had said, we can't believe the power of Yuri caused a traffic jam. /J. Fuse Hunter said that tracks, yeah.
It was
that tracks, yeah, was in reference to the Yuri genre thing.
That
yeah,
was
you
backed up as Iron was saying their aunt pun. So actually it was the pun that caused the traffic jam.
Oh, okay, so we can blame the puns. Puns caused this. You would have been just like Toko's sister. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Adding also to my call-out post for Twitter.com.
Fuse also said Toho mentioned, oh boy, ... and then this is why I love tuning into book club. So we're caught up on chat now. So okay, the Nakatani afterword thing. I found the section. Nio Nakatani. Nice to meet you. I'm Nio Nakatani. This is my first volume of my first series. Nio means little grebe. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Grebe? It's like a type of bird that can dive underwater for a long time and catch fish. It is the official bird of Shiga Prefecture. In Shiga, where I'm from, they also call the little grebe the long-breathed bird. So I hope this name will also grant me a long and successful career as a manga artist. And then I guess another bird in the scene is just saying, yeah, right, you just rearranged your real name and came up with Neo by mistake. Then you looked it up in a dictionary in a few minutes ago. And then she's just going, I'm sorry, I'd never even seen the kanji for it before. So, and then they got into more stuff about how they got into drawing it. Oh, I think I remembered part of this from like reading the backstory. It was like she was presenting at she was at a doujinshi convention, selling stuff, I think. and an editor for the magazine had come up to her and offered talked to her about writing Yuri manga for them, and that's how I got started. Just got approached at a doujinshi convention, probably selling Toho doujins for all I know. So that's very interesting. If it wasn't for Toho, we might not have Bloom Into You right now, and that's wild to think about. Yeah, and then it goes
and
into.
that's why
I'm on the
Toho
time
is the
machine.
most important cultural signifier.
True. When are we gonna start reading Toho manga for book club? There's gotta be Toho manga, right? I'm assuming there is.
Dear Lord, let's start now.
Right now, okay.
We
This
still
is
gotta finish
basic.
that Toho game.
True. This is basically a Toho manga, right? Essentially.
Truly the homestuck of anime.
Oh my god. Why would you do this to us? Why would you do this to us?
I enjoy your suffering.
I could tell. All right. What else did we have? Is there anything else? Any other details or scenes we wanted to bring up and mention and discuss? Any huge topics or whatever?
Yo, you're not gonna believe this.
Yeah, what's up?
They're fucking gay.
What? What?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. That's wild. What's your source? What's your source? Yeah. Facts?
I
Okay,
made
so
it the
I do-
fuck up.
Iron?
I do have a
Go on,
question
Iron.
for the group. So in commentary about Bloom Into You, I sometimes see you, the main character, being described as either Ace or Arrow or Demi. Do you guys have thoughts on that? Does she read one way or another to you, or is it too early to tell?
I think she's a high schooler still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I had assumed it like a lot of this was going to be whether or not Koito was going to realize whether or not she is Ace. But it also feels like a lot of this is more so her being like, I would like to love, I just am heavily influenced by the romance works I've read. So I'm assuming if I'm not immediately feeling the attraction, this must not be, I must not be able to feel it. And so she's kind of like questioning whether or not that is the case now, probably. That's a thought that I was going through in my head while I was reading it, because I wasn't sure if that was the direction this was going to end up towards.
Yeah, it feels like she's trying
As
to
far
figure
into-
out which version of I don't get it she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Andy?
I was gonna say I think she's probably Demi for sure, at the very least, if nothing else. Just the idea that you have to like really, you have to have a bond with someone, I think, before that kind of stuff can come to fruition. In my personal opinion, is I think how this is gonna end up playing out.
Anybody else have any thoughts on the
fair?
matter?
I will for once refrain from answering.
Oh yeah, because you already know the answers. You gotta hold back. You gotta hold back.
You didn't answer either, are you?
That's true. That is true. That is true. And she's gonna refuse to answer still. Oh my god. What a legend.
That seems in line with Ari.
Damn. All right. Any other? Because what I'm gonna go into next is I'm gonna have us go down the line on people's general first impressions of the series, or impressions upon revisiting the beginning of the series. What their current thoughts are, what their hopes are, what their predictions might be, you know, what they're invested in, whatever you want to kind of share. We're going to kind of go through the line and do that next. So this will start with Andromeda, who obviously you know the series already. How is it on a reread, and what are some things that you're very excited to go through again and such? Whatever you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess.
All right, sweet. Good meeting.
I think it's funniest if I leave it there, so move
All
on.
right. Fair enough. Arimia Yuri. Not Arimia Yaoi. Okay, or not Arimia BL.
That
Arimia
would be
Yuri.
funny though. Arabia, Yaoi, Yuri.
Yeah, no, that's in the next series. Okay, that's the next series. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That was threatening.
Gonna bring up
Oh,
Sasaki
that is
Miyano for the next series.
No, well, clearly y'all want to read number 6, so.
Oh, true.
So yeah, I like these volumes. I'm very, very intrigued to see where it goes from here. I hope it ends well. Doom Jury is nice and all, but this feels like too real. Like, I prefer my Doom Jury to be the fantastical type. This is very grounded and realistic, so I want them to get together and be happy. Please be happy.
Demo available now?
Please be
Be happy.
happy. Demo available now.
Oh my god. I'm so glad. All right, well, thank you so much for that. And next up, did you fucking change your name? You changed your name to
Andy
move up?
jumped to the
You're
top.
fucking with the list here, live, on stream, as I'm going down the line. You think you could be skipped here? No, we're going back. Next up, Andy. All right, what did you think about Blooming to you? I was like, wait a minute, did I miss somebody?
liked it.
No, you
I-
changed your fucking name. All right, what'd you think, Andy?
I was wondering how long it would take for you to notice.
Didn't take long.
I liked it. I think that it's very cute. And I'm excited to see where it goes. And if it makes me cry, I will throw up on Anne's shoes.
That's fair. Deserved.
Glad we're in
All right.
agreement.
All right,
I'm not gonna like it, but I understand.
fair enough. Anything else?
But it's cute. I'm enjoying it.
All right,
All
glad
right.
to hear. Glad to hear. Aztec, what are you thinking so far about Blooming to you?
This is giving me complicated feelings because like it's on the verge of being sweet, and then like it just makes me feel bad for the people involved.
Well, yeah, that's
Like-
what makes it cute.
I want them to be able to be happy together, but I also don't know if being together would make them happy, you know?
Yeah. It's an interesting
Yeah, they're gonna have
struggle.
to change some stuff.
So
Interesting.
yeah, that's my thoughts. It's a very
You could say
complicated
they'll have to
emotion.
bloom into
Oh my god. Oh,
Bloom
oh
into
my god.
therapy is what they need to do, but hey.
and then just dragged off stage.
Bloom into couples therapy, okay. All right.
Ghost, get her.
All right. Thank you so much, Aztec. Next up. Wait a minute. What? Just what? Something has just happened in my Twitch chat where I noticed an alert just happened. We started a prediction yesterday on stream while I was playing Sonic Hero. Somebody challenged me to a chess match, and then we threw up a poll that says who will win at chess. And I thought I had told it to stop in 1 minute. But it appears I have told that poll to stop in 1 day. It has
Did
just
you
told me
win?
that the poll... I mean, I won in the end, but what did the poll say? Wait, what were the results of the poll? Who voted against me?
I don't
Wait.
think anybody participated in the poll.
Wait, no, it's not. No, that can't be true. That can't be true. We had like one person who was like, sir,
Chap,
where's
it
the
seems
poll?
Your attention, it
Huh?
seems your attention has been pulled away from the topic.
Oh my god.
Iron.
Hold on, I have to go to... Apparently I can't see
That's
the
my name.
results in my own
Iron, I'm
fucking
gonna have to
poll.
anti-recommend you again next week.
Again? Oh my god. Hold on, I'm
It's
gonna...
just a perpetual thing. She keeps getting back on the not recommended list.
There was okay, so we had two options for the poll. There was yes, he's a god gamer, and LOL no. And 100% said yes, he's a god gamer. I'll have you know. All right, so there, everybody who believed in me, which is 2 people apparently, you're making big money on those channel points right now. All right, big money. Wait a
One of
minute.
them you.
Well,
Wait a
we're making
minute.
it big.
Wait a minute. Somebody fucked with this, I think. They marked LOL no as the winner. So you guys got fucked on your points, apparently. I don't know what happened with this. Wait, what? All right.
I didn't touch it.
Somebody messed with this, and they picked the wrong thing. I don't know what it was. Or maybe it just auto-pick something if I don't pick it after a while. I don't know what it is. Anyways, that was weird. I'll look into that later. Some of you might have had your points robbed, not through my choice, okay? But listen, it might have happened. Anyways, we are going down the line. Aztec had just told us his thoughts, now goes on to me. My thoughts. I mean, I've expressed a lot of my thoughts already, of course, but if I were to try to summarize it, like, I am super, super invested in their dynamics of, like, how both of these two are approaching this initial feeling of weirdness towards romance. Specifically, the interest that Koito has with, like, her perspective, which we primarily follow Koito's perspective, but following her from the beginning, where she is heavily influenced by romance stories and seems to be having a misunderstanding for how she is supposed to feel towards these things immediately, because her expectations have been, influenced by that. I feel like is super interesting to lean into. I like that was an immediate hook for me, and then to also throw in Toko Nanami's feelings into the mix as well, where she's coming from the perspective of love is a violent word. A lot of it is very conditional. I've had to essentially, assume my sister's role in order to be loved in some ways, and it's a whole other mess of things, which is also very interesting. I hope the best for them, but as Aztec also said, I don't know if necessarily the best for them is for them to be together because of the ways they feel. It's kind of like a catch-22 for some of them in ways, especially for Nanami, where she's like, I don't want... I feel love towards this person who does not love me, but the ways that she wants to interact with her are clearly ways that may influence her into loving her in the future. So it's a whole thing. So I hope the best for both of these characters. But it's very interesting how we're handling their approach with each other. And including all the supporting characters in the mix. I love how the supporting characters, again, I've already said this, the supporting characters, even though a lot of their development is done off screen or like offhand mentioned about their events that they've been, progressed on at times, it's still important thematically and then builds upon our core situation, which is very good. So I really enjoy it. And also reminded me in some ways with the realness of how a lot of the scenes and dialogue felt, towards how Fujimoto writes things in a way. He handles things in a very different way when it comes to like dialogue. But in both authors' methods, they give you the rawness of like the emotions of what the characters are going through. In Fujimoto's case, his way of connecting the reader to the raw emotion of what's going on is through the characters just blatantly and simplistically very much saying some of the like primal basic thoughts that they're thinking of in their head, and it's very relatable with how they're feeling about that in that way. Whereas with this is kind of the opposite kind of approach to it, where they're saying one thing but there's like a million things going on in the background that are going on in the background based on the way they've phrased these things or why they've said that in that situation, perhaps compared to other situations and such. So it's very, very interesting to see that with that kind of experience in my past, at least, with other works. It's been very interesting to see that method of handling the relatability of these characters and the making these scenes and emotions feel more real. So very, very strong start. Very, very strong start. Like I said, I read both these volumes last Thursday and I was already mad at myself because then I had to wait a whole week to read the next two already. So I was very mad at myself for that. All right, but now once this is done, I get to read them immediately and then get mad at myself for having to wait a week again. So it's going to be a whole thing. It's fine. And I know I can't wait. Okay, this is that good. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the matter.
Yes, so hurry up, Iron and Baguetti.
Blue and
Damn,
Tees.
all right.
Yeah, true. Blue and Tees. It's okay.
It was
so,
good.
Iron.
The end. Bye.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
No, I'm already done. It was good. The end. Bye. No. So I've really been enjoying experiencing this series again. Like I said, I haven't read this part of the manga just yet, but it's the same. I mean, it's the same. The plot follows very closely with the anime. Almost scene for scene, if I'm remembering stuff right. Although, like I said, it's been a while, but
Just about, yeah. No.
yeah, it's pretty close to scene for scene. So I've really been enjoying it. I'm glad that I'm rereading it again now because I feel like I have a much better understanding of some of the intricacies and some of like how relationship dynamics work and just general better emotional intelligence than I did when I experienced it first, however many years ago. Not too long after it came out. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The characters are really well written, as we've already said. It feels very grounded. It's toxic in a realistic way, right? In a way that is enough to provide some really complex and interesting drama, but also not enough to make you just believe that these characters are terrible people, and so I really like that balance. Yeah, and I'm excited to keep reading it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, Baguetti. What did you think about Bloom Into You?
Well, first off, I want to say I don't really read rom-com kind of slice of life type manga.
Sure.
I'm not really drawn to it. So
sure.
But I do like to read different things. I think the only thing other than the story isn't bad, but I do think that I need more as far as the visuals.
Sure.
I'm somebody who is attached more to how the story plays out in a visual way. If a character is struggling to connect to what is considered fundamental types of human feelings, like, for centuries, these are thought of, oh, everyone feels this way, or one day it'll happen to you. I want some kind of visual representation or a visual metaphor of the otherness of when somebody does not meet the expectations that society puts on a person, especially from a young age. So I did have a little bit of trouble as the mangaka could not quite connect that. And I personally, I don't like to do the heavy lifting with my imagination or assuming or reading into too much. I would like that there is that established visual connection. And I was very curious. I ended up just kind of skimming through the first episode of the anime because I think about this from the perspective of art. And I think if I was an art director and I had to handle this property for an episode of an animation, I would actually have a lot of trouble trying to fill in the amount of time. And I noticed that the way that they solved it was that they did throw in a lot of stuff, a lot of flower symbolism. I noticed some ocean, some stuff with the sun and light, and things with the senses. And I kind of wish the mangaka had that in here. It would have turned my opinion a little bit higher of this. I'm still going to stick with it. I feel like I just need that visual hook from the very beginning. It's something I look for. It's the reason why I even read stuff in the first place. So yeah, I'll stick with it. I do think some of the story, because I am looking for that, some of the scenes that happen in the story are very intense, like the train scene. So when you're used to just very placid, very, calm scenes for the most part. When you see someone get hit by a thing and they're trying to cross a busy intersection for a train, you're just like, oh my god, I don't know. Like,
They're
so yeah,
fucking dead.
yeah,
Waving
like
your
I
arms.
read
Get
into
out
it.
of the way! Get out of the way!
I read into it too much, so I do wish. I don't know if this mangaka is still active, but I really do hope that they like look at the anime and look at other things, because the story I think is there for sure, but the visuals, I wish they would just match that. Like if somebody is feeling something conflicting and very deep and very inward, I want to see it on the page. That's for the viewer to enjoy, right? Like it's I don't want to infer it. I want to feel it. I want to see it too, or at least as close to that the mangaka is able to allow us to do it. But I come from that visual space. I some of the things the little details I have to wait for other people to mention because I don't quite notice. I kind of gloss over because I don't want to read into it too much. Like I don't want to think
Sure.
of characters away. If they don't say it, if they don't do it, I don't think it. So I just kind of move on to the next
Sure.
scene.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
how I
I think-
feel for the most part for this beginning part.
Yeah.
No, that's really valid. I mean,
Yeah.
this manga, this series is very much about seeing what's not said, and so if that's not the way that you prefer to read, it may be, yeah, just a little bit incompatible. But hopefully you can still find some enjoyment in it.
Yeah,
Without
absolutely.
love, it cannot be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was definitely noticing visually, like, because I do enjoy the art for this series, but it is harder to have like a lot of like, you know, amazing visual spectacles
Yeah.
like we were getting from like Pandora Hearts or whatever. But you know, it's got very nice moments. But there are very nice moments where it does highlight the art, and then other times where it's two characters talking on with a white background. You just don't see anything around them. They're like talking in a void at times, which tends to happen a lot with slice of life stories specifically. I just kind of look past that or whatever because in my head, the where the background art or whatever is not there, it helps me to focus more on the characters and like the dialogue. It kind of feels I understand it's in part a way to kind of calm down on having to do a lot of art for all of those details for every single panel, but it also kind of helps in that kind of way for me too. But it is something that is like very noticeable with a series like this, where like, you know, you have these intense moments, but there's a lot of just like these characters are just in a void for a lot of these scenes when they're talking to each other. You know, it happens. And yeah, it is.
I think, like the metaphors would definitely serve the mangaka to kind of check out some other stories, because there's plenty of stories while they're not set in contemporary times. There's plenty of stories where the character is not special in any kind of way. Like maybe they're not magical. They're not, everyone in their family is better than them in some capacity. You know, there's themes like that. And I think it would have been interesting to check out something else and then apply it to this story, because again, otherness is a very relatable feeling. If you can't if you can't convince people of how this character feels, or they're confused, or they don't even know how they feel, isolating them, alienation, visuals of that are very powerful.
Yep.
So I feel like they could have used that a lot more. I think it's a lot of stuff to work with. So I think they were just leaving some interesting ideas on off the table, and I really wish I could have just leaned into that just a little bit more. But that's just me. That's the things I prefer in my media.
No, and that's perfectly
How
valid.
much
That's
more
perfectly
would
fair.
you have liked it if they had each had swords?
I think
No,
swords improve
I
a lot of
think-
media, though.
I think I
That's
would
what
have
I'm trying to
loved it.
figure out. What
Honestly,
percentage?
I was thinking about that. I think I would have loved it if they were like scrappy, like medieval, like
Feudal
impoverished,
maidens.
you know, and then you have one that just has like 2 little
Which of
coins
you
to
is a
rub
handmaiden,
together
and
every
which of you
once
is
in
a
a
feudal lord?
while.
Wait, hold on. Spaghetti's
I
cooking.
think
Spaghetti's
if you gave
cooking.
Each
Sayaka a
other
weapon, this
on
would be
all
a
the
very
time.
different story.
I'm just imagining
Great.
Sayaka with a rapier, just ready to go.
True.
That'd be
True.
great. And then like the other one's like, oh, that'd be great, man.
Oh man. To the point you mentioned earlier about you know, series with like a where it will like be very good at like using visuals to tell the kind of message it's trying to portray about like the mood, like a character who thinks he's special, but the visuals are showing you the feeling that like this is the reveal that this character is not actually all that. When I think of stuff like that, I think of a lot of the March Comes In Like a Lion anime. That, because it's primarily about a shogi
Yeah.
player, it primarily has to focus on that in order to do it, and it does it so really well. You know, so really well.
Well, it has. I mean, it has a lot of dark scenes that
Yes.
I think most people don't pick up on them fully, but I completely did.
Yep.
And it was maybe something as simple as looking over a bridge.
Yep.
And you know, you can make jokes about that, but like if you are feeling a certain way and you're alone, what does that look like? How does that feel? And also, what does that look like when people try to breach into that scene?
Yep.
That's a visual metaphor that you can, that's a powerful one that you could play with. Films and TV do this all the time.
Yep.
So I wonder, like, can we play with this a little bit more? I can't really think of any manga off the top of my head. There are some that are like more sci-fi focused with characters that are spend most of the manga alone. And the minute that someone can like breach into that bubble that they've created for themselves, it's very powerful. So
yeah.
I mean, I hope it leans onto those themes for sure. I like I said, I don't usually do a slice of life, so I'm trying to keep an open mind.
Yeah. I had I think I was feeling the same for hoping for more kind of visually appealing scenes, specifically with this. Once we got to Maki's deal, and it shows like the metaphor visually with like him being in a theater, all of a sudden I was very confused at first. I was like, is this a flashback to him watching a play involving some past romance thing? But no, it was just supposed to be like a metaphorical thing. I mean, for all I know, his past story might have involved somebody doing a play, for all I fucking know. But it in that scene, it was like a you know, metaphor for like what was like symbolic for what was happening and stuff. So, which is very cool, and I was hoping that there would be more things like that. It was nice. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I would say kind of following along with that, there are moments like that. It's just more breaking of a form as opposed to it being the form.
Oh, I see.
I was about to say something about negative space. Like it's a
Yeah.
it's not actually negative space in like the artistic sense, but there's like it encourages you to fill in the gaps by not having dramatic flashy visuals.
Right, sure.
And I think, see, I honestly, on a reread, I think I'm kind of having the opposite thing, partially because I just know the story and I love the story, and I'm coming at it with all that extra context. But I think where I'm also just not a visuals first person, I am very much a characters first person, I think. I would, yeah, probably characters and themes first, and then I can like expand on that to then appreciate visuals, which works for me a lot in this series. Where, to bring it back to the like Pandora Hearts as a series, the art was technically impressive, but I never felt anything looking at any of it because I wasn't invested in the characters in the first place.
Sure.
So that visual storytelling doesn't land the same way that Bloom and to use visual storytelling does hit like a lot better for me, even if it's not as necessarily impressive in a visual sense.
Right.
+1. I'll +1 that.
Like there's I did take one screenshot. Let me see if I can find it.
Sure.
Of a similar moment of like, it's not the form, but there's a moment where I think it's Akari and Koyomi and you are just having a conversation together, and then one of them makes some sort of comment. I think Akari starts talking about her crush again, and there's just a shot of like the three of them sitting at their desks, and then another shot of like them all still sitting in the room, but you is suddenly like way further out.
Yes. Yep.
From
Yeah.
all of them, and it's just a lot of stuff like that, I think, as opposed to what you were trying to say.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's valid opinions to have regarding the series. So it is very nice to have these conversations about these things in general, because it's interesting to consider some of these. So, anything else, Big Eddie?
Oh, that's all for me. I'm looking forward to how the story develops. At least it's something I can say I haven't read a story like that, like about this particular topic. So that is at least very interesting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, and thank you so much to everybody for your perspectives on all of this. And now let's see. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up and or discuss and or comment on before we wrap up for this week? Okay, I'll show this screenshot on stream, and then we'll begin wrapping this up. This is the visual panel that Anna was talking about, which Iron has found right here with the distance. Very, very cool shot. Very powerful. Yeah. Okay, well, that was everybody's takes on the first week of Bloom Into You. Oh my god, what a strong, interesting start to this new series. The series is only 8 volumes, so we're going to be discussing it for 4 total weeks. This is the first. We got 3 more. It was very, very interesting to start. Thank you so much, everybody, for becoming a part of the discussions for this. Thank you so much to you for listening or watching this, and or watching the VOD afterwards. You can watch these live on YouTube, Twitch,
Wait,
and
Koito U is listening to this VOD? That's cool.
Yes. Yeah, right now. Right now. With Nanami. Thank you so
Yeah, I like mysteries and sci-fi and stuff.
Oh, all right, sweet. Yeah, Among Us cookies. Thank you so much. If you can listening to this, you can check out these streams live every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern time on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, all streamed at the same time. You can find links to all these things at my website, wolfborg.com. All my links are loaded up there, or you can just type youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com, or kick.wolfborg.com. And if you want to become a part of the book club festivities, whether you just want to read along with us and comment in the Discord, or if you want to become a part of the live show discussions, you're welcome to join the Discord at discord.wolfborg.com, where we just have a fun time. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff in here. You can grab yourself the book club roll. We also do watch parties, and we also do watch parties related to book club series that we've read in the past. Currently, we're watching through the Sailor Moon anime, which is... oh my god, it is so interesting and really fun compared to the manga. There's so much. I've commented about this off stream, but here on stream, the biggest thing is every single, like, the first 5 chapters of the manga for Sailor Moon was just introducing another member of the crew there, the Sailor Guardians or whatever, immediately. Like, there was no breaks. We had to introduce them all together immediately. And then with the anime, the first week of us watching it, the first 6 episodes, we didn't even meet anybody else yet. It was just Usagi. You know, it was just Sailor Moon.
Usagi and Luna.
You know, and then after last week's viewing, we got to meet Mercury and Mars. So now they're a part of the crew. So it's very interesting. We get a whole bunch more episodes to have a lot more fun with these characters and explore them more. And just in general, each of the episodes is just really, really fun. So we're going to be watching through some more of that tomorrow, actually, not Saturday. We're going to be watching through some more of that tomorrow. We're going to watch through 6 more episodes. We're going to be starting episode 13. I think it ends at like episode 8 or so, something like that. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow night. And that will also be hosted in the Discord server. So again, if you want to become a part of that viewing, that's at discord.wolfborg.com. We will also be doing potentially... what did I put on the schedule? I said we were going to do Halo ODST on Saturday. This is just my stream stuff. This is not book club related. I don't think Bloom Into You takes place in the Halo universe. Listen, there are in fact there are several Halo books. We can in fact start a Halo book club. Okay,
that's why I made the joke.
We got to do this. We got to listen. I own them. I own some of them. Okay,
Please don't make me.
They're good. You'll enjoy them. All right, actually,
don't
I don't know.
me.
I don't know. Listen. Listen, all right.
He was my favorite guy.
I will follow you down this road, chap.
Hey, listen. Listen. Don't test me. I'll do it. Anyways, that's gonna be Saturday. I'm gonna be starting Halo ODST. I played through all of Halo. I mean, I've played all these games already, growing up, but I played through all of Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3 on Legendary. So now we're gonna continue, and Halo Wars on Legendary. God, Halo Wars on Legendary was a fucking nightmare. And now we're gonna be doing Halo 3 ODST on Legendary. So that's next on our journey before we go on to Halo Reach for that series. So that's the plan for Saturday. Sunday may or may not stream. And then next Thursday, we will continue Bloom Into You Book Club discussing volumes 3 and 4. What's gonna happen with our couple here? Are they doomed? Will they find therapy? Will Saiki kill somebody? Will Koyomi write the play, and will it be fire? Will Maki remain an observer? I was trying to think of a joke thing. Oh yeah, will Akari get the basketball boy to stop playing basketball, Troy Bolton to stop playing basketball? Will that happen? I don't know. Good luck to them.
I will say too, it's going to be interesting to have Shino here next week because I see that she has changed her name to Sayaka Sayaka Fan Club.
Oh my god. Based.
I agree with her, is the thing.
Oh my god. All right. That's definitely going to be really interesting. So tune in for that next week if you want to hear Shino's take on all this. So thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you all. And thank you so much again to our guests for being here and being a part of this. And now we're going to raid out. Let's see here. And we do have a raid message if you're in the Twitch chat. There you go. It's just Raid Borg with those emotes. So if you are in the chat and you would like to do that, you may paste that in as we go to raid out. Now let's see who we're going to raid tonight. All right, we got Rudy is streaming Metroid Fusion. Let's go say hi to Rudy. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, stream.
Bye.
We'll talk to you next week and or tomorrow night if you're coming to Sailor Moon watches and or Halo ODST on Saturday. Goodbye, stream.
For Halo Book Club, let's go.
Halo Book Club, let's go. Let's fucking
and Horse Heresy next.
Let's fucking go. Okay, bye.
Bye, stream.